Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the Kraken. We stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, January 5th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A disappointing start to 2023 for me yesterday. I not happy with how I handled NHL. I went 2-2-1 in NCAA basketball, and then 1-2 in NBA. Sometimes you just need a little wake-up call, a little fucking slap in the face, get your shit together, get focused, and get the winners coming in. And I plan on bouncing back here in a big way. Pretty upset. I already fired 2 shots at NHL, fired 3 shots at NBA. I'm just going to start firing before I get here if there's spots that I'm confident on. And there's it is low watermark time in NBA. We've been in these situations a couple times in NBA and finish the year up double-digit units. So I just got to stay focused and trust the process and not get not lose confidence. So that's why I moved on 3 spots before we got here. Bet 3 spots. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Great to see all of you guys. There's Viper NB in the house. FAP win. FAP win. Utah Tech first half and NHL Toronto race to 2 goals. Interesting FAP win. And Dan Kelly says FanDuel has a Tom Hogue top 10 plus 450. None of the other books have higher than 360. Interesting. And scored with the Cavs yesterday. That was perfectly done. The under was so easy. The NBA got off to a great start, and then it kind of fell off for me. I'm going to copy and paste this. I mean, that's the highest total I've ever tried to go over. I don't know exactly what I was thinking there with that Hawks game. Rob Garvey, Rocco Rogers, J-Dub, LJ from H-Town. Huge day yesterday. It was great to see my friend. Can't wait to have you back in action with us. Very impressive work. TJ ready to get to work. The gift cashed again, 15-2. Final score was 5-1, but it wasn't easy casher. It was very easy. A bunch of meaningless goals very late in the game. And the 6.5 really was never in jeopardy. I should have moved on it. I just, when it comes to actually betting something, I just have a real difficult time doing it unless it's like, was my plan or it correlates with my plan. You're under 6.5, although you laid it out beautifully, it just wasn't my plan. And it's one thing to make something an official pick. It's another thing to like press the button. And clearly I should have. It would have helped my night. And great stuff, TJ. And then I respect you very much as a capper. So please don't take it as any form of disrespect. It's just for me when I'm, putting money on the line. I have to go. It has to be my own sword. It just has to be. I have to go in a battle with my own sword. I can't go in a battle with anybody else. It's not when I put so much importance on our success and my success in my life. Like it means so much to succeed. And especially when you've got the young family and the fucking car gets ganked on New Year's Day with no fucking theft insurance, stakes are raised. And so please don't take it as any form of disrespect because it's not. And I respect you, enormously. There's Fat Wally in the house, says, good morning. Getting coffee and looking at today's equine information. Respect to our Fat Wally. Rob Garvey, J-Dub, LJ, TJ, Jimmy Gomez, Slatsy hit with the Wild yesterday. I got sucked in by the Stars, but that was a beautiful look on the Wild, and it was my original plan. I don't know why I got off it on Lightning first period. I got caught up in thinking maybe the Wild would be lazy, but it was not the case. They're a well-coached hockey team. Well-coached hockey team. Jimmy Gomez cashed that team total under Ducks yesterday. You sure did. Vipe Von Polo North Ender says starting to heat up in NBA 3-1 yesterday and should have fired on the Magic. Well, I already fired on the Magic at +7. I kind of like the opportunity when Memphis destroys Charlotte, who now look like the worst team in the NBA. Destroy Charlotte. Talk about how good they are offensively and defensively. Talk about how good they are after the game. When you beat up on a fucking cupcake and then hop on a plane down to Orlando. And Orlando's a little fresher than they look because they had players missing last game with suspension. So I took the 7. Lucas Ryan, yes, ye old drink hole, the prison pocket. Lee Davis says time to get hot. Yes, sometimes you just need a little bit of a wake-up call, a little bit of slap in the face. I felt I was running really nice in NHL. Like I got too cute with 2 first-period plays. And, so that's all. I feel that sometimes, just understanding how difficult this is to succeed long-term can be helpful. It can be helpful. But it's fucking stuck with me. I just the first few days of this year have not gone according to plan. Carr getting fucking ganked, and then having a bad week in NFL, and then my first show back here was disappointing. And I knew it. I could feel it. And those of you guys, that cap and gamble, I was last night. I was just fucking staring, going over everything I had done wrong with my capping. And I was like, oh no, I felt that fucking thing there. Your subconscious, that asshole creep in, going, just not being positive. I won't say the horrific things I say to myself. So then what happens is it's a slippery slope because this requires so much work and attention and care that you can't. When I was dealing with insomnia down in Costa Rica, it hurt my capping badly because you're just not thinking as clearly as you'd like to think. And I sort of feel like that's slipping in here on the 5th of January. Pretty fucking early to start slipping. Okay. Why is Daddy yelling? Coin, what's up? Great to see you. Coin, my friend. I'm going to switch this setup I have here. It's a little different than it was before. I'm still setting up the studio to be like it was before with the hats and all that stuff. But the computer's just a little bit too far away, and I feel like my eyes are fucking slipping. Gregory Simmons, what's happening, man? And Slatsy says, great call on the Ducks to our Jimmy Gomez. Newark, no, there's not. We're not going to hear anything about it. We've let go of it. We're time to buy a new car. So yeah, that shit happens. And we're going to wait maybe a couple. Probably not do anything till next week. But we're not in the right. Like before, when I was on JMO, man, I'm right in the heart of the action. Here I'm in fucking the boons, man, up at Young and Finch. I need a fucking car. There's nothing around me here. But look, everything in life will work out if your capping is the best that it can be. It's that simple. Everything's better. Food tastes sweeter. You can. I won't get into it, but everything works off of your success in capping. Drug Monkey RX. Logan Russell says NFL NBA is rigged. Okay, Logan. Billy Friedrich. Rebenga. Spenny Penny Bombs in the house. Dan Kelly said you shouldn't come back from vacation. Yeah. I don't know, Rem. We're looking at. We're looking at the Toyota fucking Corolla Cross. I don't know if it's big enough, and we're looking at a Kia Facento or some shit. We're looking at those two things. All right. Okay, thank you guys for joining. There's Mike M. Look at that. 6 known college basketball show shared on the show yesterday, including the 42-1 parlay. Mike M., you're a monster. You're a monster. So, we have a great show. We have Mr. Gokster joining us. He said, I haven't compiled his records from the Low Shack show, and I needed Jose and I are working after the Cappers contest show to get the everybody's picks from the week that he hosted Betting with Bouquet. So the records will be ready to go here very, very shortly, at least for next week. Everything will be in business. But I've moved on 2 spots in NHL. I was close to a couple more, but I thought I would talk it out with you guys. So thank you guys for joining us. Second show of the year. And let's get back to what we did all of last year, and that's fucking winning. So let's bring on your first guest from Belleville. And Nate, I think seeing his face may bring some happiness to my life. I'm pretty angry, but this is about as angry as I get. It's not it's not so bad, but inside I want to smash something. Let's bring on your first guest from Belleville, Ontario. Please welcome Mr. Gokster to the show. Gokster, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing well, buddy. I didn't know about the old car there. Bunch of thieves. Bunch of fucking thieves.
Fucking gank, man.
Fucking ganking thieves. But
I'm in Parkdale and nothing, everything's smooth. Right beside the crack house, not a problem.
See, maybe they know the cops are always going around the crack house, right? So they don't want to frequently fly near there. But no, let's cap some winners, buddy. I heard what you were saying, the recap there, and I got a good feel on this card. Let's rock and roll, Jim. Good to be on with everyone in the chat. Let's do it. I'm gonna start writing down my record too here for you guys. Come this year, Jim. Like starting this year, January on, I'll have my numbers too. So
sweet,
we can get it all intact.
Sweet. Well, let's get right to work. And there's no usually people say, "Oh, I'm gonna start my record here on January 5th" because they've had a tough beginning of the year. You have not had that on the show, so that's not the reason.
I feel like maybe I shouldn't do that because it's been going pretty well. Just letting the boys do it, but yeah.
Let's get to work though. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Nashville Predators 16-14-6, 7-8-3 on the road at Carolina Hurricanes 25-7-6, 12-3-1 at home. PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have a Saros versus Ranta. Let me know if there are mistakes there. Saros 13-10-5, 2.76 goals against average, 915 save percentage, no shutouts. Ranta 10-2-2, 2.62 goals against average, 897 save percentage, 2 shutouts. A Nashville power play at 17.9%. Notice the uptick in the power play as soon as Roman Josi gets hot. So this power play should be at around 21-22%. So I expect it to continue to climb. 79% penalty killing. Imagine what this power play would do if they had some real snipers at forward, because Josi is a monster. Yeah. Carolina power play at 18.9%, penalty killing at 80.5%. Let's go into the line history here for this one. We have Carolina opening up at minus 209. They're now minus 226. So a 17-cent move towards them. From a total side of things, it opens up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. Nate, that must have been so much fun. Our dude Nate, he was at the Providence UConn game. What a game! I cashed the under in that one, but wow, that must have been fun to watch. Predators come in off their second win in 3 games, 6-3 at home versus Montreal on Tuesday. Hurricanes had their 11-game winning streak snapped and 5-3 loss at the Rangers on Tuesday. It was big Rangers comeback. Max Pacioretty's going to make his season debut. Very interested to see what he looks like. He's a China doll out there, and he's getting older, but he still has a ton of character. Is not the right word. I mean, they stripped him of his captaincy, didn't they, in Montreal? But he
brings depth, I'd say. Eh?
I don't know exactly what he brings, to be honest with you, anymore, but he can score, and he should help them because they have a dearth of offense. He was traded by the Hurricanes with Dylan Coughlin to Vegas for future considerations. He tore his Achilles tendon August 10th. He was supposed to be out for 6 months, so he's a month ahead of schedule. And their power play is... needs help. They're only averaging 3.11 goals per game. That's 19th in the NHL. And Andre Kase looks like he's done for the season. He got hurt in the season opener, and they put him on long-term injury reserve. We spoke a little bit about that yesterday. Yes, dearth, Lucas Bryan. I'll give
Yeah, you got me with that one, Jim.
you. I'll bring it up for you guys. But
Get the dictionary out.
I'll bring it up for you guys. But all said and done here, we spoke yesterday about how much money the Hurricanes have in their salary cap right now.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this run, they're extremely dangerous hockey team moving forward in the futures market and things of that sort. I stayed off of this spot, but I did look initially at the over. I couldn't do that because they haven't allowed a goal in their last 2 home games. Take it away, though, for us here right now.
All
Hurricanes, Predators.
Let's do it, Jim. All right, guys. So the big thing for me is question mark is who's in net, because you brought up Ranta, Jim, and I do have Kochekov or Kochekov, whatever you want to call him. 4-1. He's been the reason they've been on this big streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won at least, I think, 13 of their last 15. 39 goals for, Jim, 26 against in their last 10. Nashville, looking at their power play here, Jim, it is getting better, like you're saying. 24% last 10, and it's 22% on the road. And then Carolina, their power play, Jim, is actually 28% at home, 21% last 10 games. So I'm leaning. I don't have any play on this game, guys, but I would lean to some overs, especially if we get Ranta, Jim. I'd have to lean to some overs there. He hasn't played in a while, too. Saros, he's a much better home goalie on the road, 4-5-2 with a .9. He's 900 save percentage, 3.19 goals against, coming off a win against Montreal. It's a tough team to cap, this Nashville team. They're really Jekyll and Hyde. It's going to be, I can see this going both ways, guys. It's not a game I'm pretty strong on. Cole Smith's out for Nashville, or at least day-to-day. Back-to-back against Washington, too, Jimmy, for Nashville. So there's another question mark there. Is it going to be Saros, or are they going to go, I believe it's Lankinen in net for Nashville? So there's too many question marks for me in this game, guys, to be certain. Because, Saros or Lankinen. You got Washington and Carolina, 2 tough teams. I don't know if Saros goes or Lankinen, Jim. So that's kind of too many question marks here, buddy.
Initially, I would think that this is a great bounce back spot for Carolina. There's a whole bunch of teams right at that minus 225 spot. The Hurricanes, the Leafs, the Capitals, and I don't know. It's difficult to want to support one of those spots. So, but this would probably be the one. The Capper's talking about the struggles that the Predators have in the first period. So,
first period, jump on them early. Would you do a minus 0.5 on that, or?
I think that they're kind of an angry group after the Rangers come back on them. But with Pacioretty being brought into the lineup, I don't really have enough confidence on it. Shout out to our DC Capper who cashed both of his 4% top plays. Excellent work, DC. North Ender says Canes are the best first period team in the NHL.
Yeah, coming off a loss, and I think with Pacioretty too, back in the lineup, I only think it's going to first game back. It's got to be a little bit of momentum for the team. Nashville first period, they are, like I said, a Jekyll and Hyde team. I just don't know who's going here, and Kochekov and Ranta, because I've seen Ranta. You never know if you're getting good Ranta or bad Ranta. So, and looking at quickly here, since December at home, it's not only a 7-game sample size. They're getting production from Nosen, who's actually also day-to-day. He's had 5 goals, 1 assist. As you guys know, Svechnikov, Teravainen, Faust, Kotkaniemi. I don't have a strong play on this one, Jim. I'm gonna have to just lay off it. But first period Carolina, I don't mind it, but not certain enough, guys, in my opinion.
Carolina -1 too. I kind of like. Billy Friedrich says Ranta's won his last 7 starts. I mean, because he wasn't in net against the Rangers, and they'd won 11 straight. So
That was his last game, though. That's my thing. Goalie coming off. I know he hasn't been down in the AHL levels. Look in his last game. Okay, yeah, he did play. Look at me here. This is Ranta.
Ranta's been playing because Kochekov had the lower body issue.
Oh, my apologies, guys. Look at me, eh? So no, in this case, Ranta's 5 goals against Philadelphia. My apologies here, guys. 2 shutouts. Yeah, a bounce back for Carolina here is not out of the question by any means, Jim. My apologies there, guys. I know I keep it
all good.
I'm Canadian. I got to say it at least 3 times as a Canadian. You got to say it at least 3 times. So, yeah, I would lean towards Carolina here.
Spenny looking at the -1.5. The -1 is like around -148.
Mm-hmm.
It's Carolina or nothing. And maybe this is just a simple look on them -1. Guess lots of looking at the first period. Maybe it's worth paying the juice, just expecting Carolina to take care of business here.
Sorry, Jim. This is what I meant, I guess, with Ronta is, he's won those games, but just looking at his save percentage, 2 shutouts. But other than the 2 shutouts, he's allowed at least 3 goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts. So they're getting goals from Carolina, but that's what I mean. Are you going to get, like, when he's on shutout against Chicago and Florida, but when he's a little off, he can allow goals. And the power play from Nashville, 22%, 24%. That's home road and last 10. But again, Carolina's a hell of a hockey team. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. I still think Carolina probably takes care of business, and maybe that very first initial feeling towards the over is right. But Carolina didn't allow a goal their last 2 home games. Let's move on. We got lots of options here. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Washington Capitals 21-13-6, 9-8-3 on the road at the Blue Jackets, 11-23-2, 9-11-1 at home, Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. I have Kemper versus Merzlikins. Not sure if that's going to be the case. Merzlikins has been awful this year. 4.68 goals against average, 864 save percentage. Washington opening up at -185, 16-cent move towards them to -201, and this total opened up at 6 has moved to 6.5. We have the Washington power play, 21.7%, 80.9% penalty killing. A lot will change when Tom Wilson is in front of the net, and he could even be back tonight. And then you have Nick Backstrom, who will be back in, we think, a couple weeks, and he'll help that power play enormously. Also, Carl Hagelin will help special teams when he comes back as a shorthand specialist. The Carlson loss was big. They seem to be handling adversity very well. They come in off their second loss in 3 games, 5-4 in overtime at home versus Buffalo on Tuesday night. The Jackets coming off their 8th loss in 9 games, 4-0 at Ottawa on Tuesday. And it's there. I'd love to say, that they're just a terrible hockey team and things like that, but they're just decimated with injuries. It's just too much here. Losing Boone Jenner, your captain, you're a center who can win faceoffs, who brings size and truculence. Voracek, who's now done, looks like his career is over with this last concussion. He's very hesitant to wanting to continue it right now. You lose Jake Bean and Zach Werenski earlier in the year, 2 defensemen that are extremely important. And so this is what you get. You get a team that's losing. In saying that,
Johnny Hockey go here, anyways.
Sorry, what was that, my man?
Oh, just like I guess the injuries hit him, but Johnny Hockey here, Calgary misses him, and I feel like I bet you Calgary or he misses Calgary at this point.
I think he wanted out. I think he's not
just hockey wise though, like this team's.
Some people want to be in the spotlight and show what they can do, and some people would prefer just to cash checks and play hockey quietly. And so that's
Clayton Keller.
Hockey.
Clayton Keller too.
I hope it keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. That's what I hope it does. I hope it keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. And I have no compassion for Johnny Hockey deciding that he wants to continue his career in Columbus, Ohio. I hope he fucking loses every single season. I hope he doesn't touch the fucking playoffs. And I hope he doesn't make the Hall of Fame. And I hope he slits a groin muscle so he could suck his own dick. That's what I think about Johnny Hockey personally. But how do you want to bet this one? Why don't you take the...
Okay, yeah. So this hockey game, they're just decimated here defensively. Tim Burney, who the hell are you? Eric Gabranson, I can't pronounce that guy's last name. Bjork. They're this defense core, Jim, is a lot of just not a lot of big names you're going to know. If anything, I think they got some players in the AHL they should be calling up here. One being Felix Yalaby. He could definitely be up here, smaller player, but yeah, this team's decimated with injuries, coming off 2 losses. This is a spot for Washington, in my opinion. I was telling Jimmy Loshak there, Jim. I think this team, Washington, I think they're going to make a deep push this year. I really do. They're deep enough. They've done this without all these key players. They're going to come back halfway through the season. So they got 2 goalies in Lindgren and in Kemper, who Kemper did it last year. So I think this team's going to make a push in the playoffs. Washington coming off those 2 losses to Buffalo, just to Buffalo, 5-4. And we all know how good Buffalo's been playing of late. So this wasn't on my card actually originally, but I want to take what's the -1, Jim? Is it reasonable in the -1 for Washington?
It'll be a little bit less than what we just dealt with Carolina. I'll put it in right now. It's -200 and +130. So if you're building your own -1, it's -130.
-130. You know what? I'm seeing a -125 on the three-way. I don't see this being really that close. I don't like taking puck lines because my record, guys, is like 1-50 taking a puck line, so I don't want to jinx it. I'll take regulation, Jim. Washington Capitals bounce back, especially if we can get Wilson back. I don't think Wilson's going to be back, and also Washington does have a back-to-back tomorrow at home, so I think this could be a lower scoring game, to be honest.
So do I. I'm starting to lean towards this under 6.5.
Yeah, because it's back-to-back, and they're going to be traveling back to Nashville. Columbus doesn't have much firepower at all. Whereas Lincoln's, though, Jim, he is better. I want him at home for sure, but this is a guy I can be confident on. He hasn't played since the 13th of December, so he hasn't played in about three and a half weeks. I don't like that. You got a pissed off Washington team. I think I'm confident in this regulation play. I'll be betting this one.
-125 is what you got?
Yeah, if anyone in the chat can find a better one, you guys are the best. But as of now, yeah, 125.
I've not been very enthused. I don't think the Caps are that good. Clearly, the run at Gretzky's record has, galvanized the troops and brought a lot of excitement to the Capitals games and things like that. I don't think they're that good of a hockey team, though. And maybe they will when they get Tom Wilson back. I mean, Wilson is such a special, unique player. But and Hagelin, Backstrom, and no Carlson. I don't want them as a big favorite on the road. They're 9-8-3 on the road. So winning 9 of 20 games in regulation. Now, sure, Columbus is probably an easier foe, but I don't want them personally. I do think the under 6.5 is in play. What up, Justin McElvey? Nutflush Allen in the house as well. Let's just maybe take a quick look at just a very, very quick look at these last few games of Columbus, because when you're missing these pieces, you have to play really clean hockey. And that kind of goes to both sides. When the Capitals are missing Carlson, it's not like they're going to be able to really open up and find stretch passes and push things offensively. Yeah. Although they've been scoring. I mean, they put up 9 at home against Montreal. They put up, 9, 12, 16 goals in those 3 games. But this Jackets team just isn't scoring.
And it leads to unders. And no, you're exactly right. I can relate this to my Belleville Senators, Jim. We actually beat Rochester. Shout out to Mike M. Last night, but we didn't have a lot of our big offensive players, and like 1 or 2 goals. Like, we're not scoring much, night in and night out. Trying to play as defensive as we can. And I'm really relating that to Columbus here. And if you're looking, 4-0 loss, 4-1 loss, 4-2 loss, 2-1 loss. And I think we got an opportunity here. So yeah, I would feel not stronger than I would on Washington, but over under, I do like that under look. It would just, my only worry would be Merz Lincoln should be fine, but I'd hope he doesn't get pulled here in anything crazy. Quickly on the special teams I have here, Jim, 33% on the road for Washington. That power play's humming, and you're going up against a 77% home penalty kill in Columbus. So I just think, Washington should do what they want. I don't even, maybe a Columbus team total under could be the look too, Jimmy, under 2.5. If the number's 6.5, that should be a decent number. No,
I'm going to go on the full game under 6.5. I'm going to move on. I think I've thought about it enough. But their salary cap for the Caps, Billy Freeman talking about the Caps, salary cap issues. When they started the year, they were right up against the wall, but they knew that Wilson and Backstrom were out. So it's become very good. They now have $4.61 million in salary cap space. They're going to be biased. I don't know if enough people are talking about this, but this could be Patrick Kane's destination is with the Washington Capitals. There it is. Billy Freeman said they could bring Kane. Yeah, right there. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that would be, and like I said, I think this team's going to make a push.
John Schwartz says he's on the first period under, no goal first 10 minutes. Okay, let's move on. So Gokster's on the Capitals regulation. I'm going to be moving on the under 6.5 in that spot. It's a little bit juiced at minus 120. Here's a spot I moved on. 7 p.m. Eastern. I took the over 6 at minus 115 in Rangers Habs. It's still right where it was. Let me just make sure it hasn't moved here. Yeah, it's still right exactly where it was. Over 6 minus 115. We're in the Bell Center, Montreal, Quebec. I could have moved on the Rangers here. I could have. The reason why I won't, and I will never in these situations, is that the Habs just lost all 6 games of their just completed 6-game road trip. They allowed 22 goals over their last 3 and 30 over their past 5 games. And when a team comes home after that, I don't want to fade them. They're going to be so happy to be home. They've only played 16 of 38 games at home. They're 7-9. I think this is going to be a refreshed Habs unit. But generally speaking, one of the things that you can count on in NHL is that teams don't have letdown spots in the Bell Center or in Toronto. Those are 2 spots where players are really excited to play. And they're just very few letdown. The teams keep rolling. And the Rangers coming off that big comeback over Carolina to stop Carolina's 11-game winning streak. Rangers power play 23.8%, penalty killing 80.7%, Montreal power play 15%, penalty killing 73.9%. I'm very thankful for Dennis Garcia getting me on the Rangers to make the playoffs. I put, which is the limit that I have with my local, unless I call them, $500 on the Rangers to make the playoffs at minus 115. I'm extremely confident in them getting there and improving down the stretch. And
I like that, Jim.
Yeah, I'm very. I don't know.
They are 12. You got that live, eh? That's a live minus 115 to make the playoffs.
I was like 2 weeks ago. I'd be curious to see what it is right now, but that was about 2 weeks ago. Real Deal Prime says Montreal's blue line is still thin. I'm not sure what he's saying. No way, too. But I'm on the over 6 at minus 115 here. Let's just take a quick look at the line history for this one. We have, and this is going to be a fun game too to be on and over. I fucking love the Bell Center. This opened up minus 205, now minus 211 on the Rangers, so not much movement there. And there's been a move towards the under. This opened up at 6 minus 116 to the over. It's now minus 105 to the over. So there's been an 11-cent move to the under. I don't care. Montreal is having a problem keeping the puck out of their net, and I think their offense will be excited about being back at home. Take it away, Gokster, Rangers, Habs.
Yeah, so I'm on. I'm going to take the Rangers here, guys. I got them in a a parlay here, Jim. I do think they're gonna. I do think they're gonna win this game. Reason being, talk about the defense for Montreal. Scoring wise, at home, smaller sample size here since the month of December, which they've only had, like you said, not many home games, but haven't been able to string much together. 6% power play, 16% in their last 10 games. A lot of that's been on the road. Penalty kill has been subpar, to say the least. 1-8-1 last 10. And they are coming back home, which is, by all means, they're going to start winning some games. I looked at their schedule going forward, a couple games. They have St. Louis on Saturday and then Seattle on Monday. So those are 2 winnable games for sure. Shesterkin going in net. That's never easy. This is a completely healthy hockey team, too, for the Rangers. Excuse me. Yeah, and then looking at what the Rangers have done, Jimmy. That's Carolina. But this Ranger hockey team, other than Lafreniere possibly being another healthy scratch, I don't know if I can not take the Rangers here. 7 assists last 10 games from Fox, that's exactly what you want to see. Panarin 2, 8 assists. Production from Capo, from Kreider, from Zibanejad, all the guys you'd want to see. I'm just seeing too much in favor for this Ranger team. They're also 12-5-2 on the road. That's up there. That's the 3rd best in the East. So it's a good road team. I'm going to have to. It could go to overtime by all means. And I do think too, Jim, coming home. I'm not trying to talk you off any player or anything like that, but just on my side of things here is maybe just coming back home and that bad performance they play, let's not get another 9-2, 7-2 hockey game here in front of your fans. Play accountable hockey here. Let's play the game right, as they say. I'm a little worried about the under, but I like the Rangers here, Jim. I think they're gonna get it done. They're rolling, and I don't see this Montreal team, even though, like you said, they have been losing. I don't think they're gonna stop the bleeding here, though.
I hear you. I will never. I keep things pretty black and white with my chat. I will never fade a team off of getting swept on a road trip and coming home. I will only back that hockey team. The vividness and recency biases that are going on from the years I've been doing this, it's just we'll see. We'll let everything bang out. What are you using? Rangers -1 or -1.5 or regulation?
It's going to be in a money line parlay there, Jim. So right now I have another game coming up. But yeah,
it's easy. I couldn't disagree with that more. It's look at this team. They played 16 games at home this year. They played 38 games on the season. They come off a horrible road trip. I mean, how often have we seen this in NBA and in NHL? So I disagree, and it's fine. This is part of the fun. Yeah. It's fine, but where Montreal is playing is enormously important here when you come off getting swept on the road to come back home to the Bell Center. But this is part of the fun. What are you taking in the Rangers at?
So right now the money line, I guess I'll tie it in here. I have the number at +144, Jim. That's tied in with my other game, so I'll have to find the number. But yeah, I just got the money line parlay. What it adds up to.
Okay, Rangers, and we'll find out who's next with the Rangers here shortly. All right. So part of the money line parlay for Mr. Gokster is the Rangers, and I'm on the over 6 here at -115. All right, let's move on. Next up, we have St. Louis Blues, New Jersey Devils here. Blues, Devils, Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. I've Binnington against Mackenzie Blackwood. St. Louis power play at 23.4%, penalty killing at 71.4%. New Jersey Devils power play at 20.3%, penalty killing at 82.0%. Take a look at what we are dealing with from a line history standpoint. We have the Blues opening up at +160, now +149. So there's been an 11-cent move towards them, a 17-cent move away from the Devils, -183 to -166. Let's take a look at the total opening up at 6.5. Really no movement, kind of just sitting exactly where it is. And let's take a look at or just said it, we're not going to look at the cash. Cash is not going to help us. Diehard Podcast says, I can't seem to read the Blues right. They've stepped up recently. Offense might be the move. I don't quite understand what's happening with them. And we'll talk briefly about a couple parts of this. But the Blues coming off their second win in 3 games, 6-5 shootout victory at Toronto on Tuesday night. And they're playing without key pieces. No Ryan O'Reilly, no Vladimir Tarasenko, and no Torrey Krug. I mean, these are big, big pieces. But they out-hit Toronto 52-19 in that game. And I was like, who's doing this? You
said, they always get up for Toronto, Montreal.
Yeah, and without a doubt. But I was still like, which guys are doing this? And Shen had 8 hits in that game, but they were just there's a couple issues with Toronto and with the Canucks, and we'll talk about it when we get to the Canucks here. But the Blues have Justin Falk as their number 1 defenseman. So I always thought Colton Parayko was like Chris Pronger, a little more defensive,
exactly.
and would be on Team Canada. But watching Justin Falk played 28 minutes and 43 seconds in that win over Toronto. He's playing more than Colton Parayko. So I need to watch the Blues more. Devils on the second half of a back-to-back after winning 5-1 at Detroit last night. Take it away here for us, Gokster, Blues, Devils.
Yeah, I know that Robert Thomas, Cairo, Buchnevich, Saad, Shen, and Barbashev, that's a good, solid top 2 lines, in my opinion, Jim, for St. Louis. It's their bottom half where they're going to lose some scoring with neighbors, in my opinion, Levo, Akari, Alexandrov, Pitlick, and Tropenko. Anyways, long term, you might see like this uptick, I think, now, Jim, from St. Louis, but without O'Reilly, Tarasenko, and especially Tarasenko and O'Reilly, this has been more of recently. So watch as games go on, especially on a road trip. You're missing your leaders. Give it time. This St. Louis team, I think, will start to lose. They are 6-2-2 in their last 10. Where the Devils are 2-6-2, but we all know how good the Devils were playing back in the beginning of the year. At home, 24% power play. St. Louis does have a 32% power play on the road, but you're missing your two big weapons there. So it's a back-to-back. That's why I don't want to take the Devils here, guys. And Blackwood, I know he's coming off an injury as well, Jim. I believe this is his first start. Yeah, he's had a couple starts since he's been in the lineup. He's won 2-1, and his save percentages have been borderline. He stopped 43 pucks of 47 last time out against Carolina. And I don't want to take an under here with St. Louis, even though their scoring is going to be inept here a little bit. It's not a game I feel strong on, Jim. I do think Devils should be able to take advantage of St. Louis, but maybe this isn't the game for it. Quickly looking at St. Louis here, guys. Here we go. This is the spot. If Montreal loses to the Rangers, Jim, I would be all over Montreal Saturday night against St. Louis. I think that's a good spot to start fading St. Louis guys without those two big guys in the lineup. So I got nothing on this one. I lean towards Carolina.
Yeah, the Devils home road splits.
Carolina, sorry, New Jersey. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. The Devils home road splits that Spenny's talking about are wild. 14-2 on the road, 10-9 at home. I don't trust Mackenzie Blackwood, but I don't trust Binnington either. And is the risk reward right for the Blues? That's what you have to ask yourself. And it probably is. Probably plus 150. This is a real tough because I almost want to take an under in this spot without those two players to back, but then the goaltending situation, it's not top 10 by any means here by these two goaltenders. Goals against, Jim, are what do I have here? 3.3 on the road for Binnington on the season, and then 3.62, smaller sample size for Blackwood at home. So save percentages are below 900. Maybe an over, but I can't make a strong case on this one, guys. Yeah, Bankroll Spence says don't love backing St. Louis. I'm comfortable moving on. If I didn't feel like I had enough action, I could easily add the Blues. I think it would be Blues or no bet. Billy Friedrich talking about the Devils have lost 7 straight at home. All right, let's move. And Rocco says I'm at least taking the Blues light. Saw early money come in on the Devils, and now there's Blues buyback. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Coyotes 13-18-5, 6-15-3 on the road at the Flyers, 14-17-7, 7-9-1 at home. Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Karel Vejmelka going up against Carter Hart. Vejmelka 11-11-4, 3.23 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Carter Hart 10-11-6, 2.89 goals against average, 911 save percentage. Arizona power play at 21%, penalty killing at 72.9. Philly power play at 15.3. Penalty killing at 75.6. A friend of the show, Sal Scott, tweeted at me. He was like, he's like, I feel like the Coyotes are being disrespected with this number, and I can understand people who've made money off the Coyotes this year, thinking that they're being disrespected here. I can also understand wanting to fade Philadelphia off of the big finish to their road trip, because I said the shine of Tortorella coaching is gone, and there's going to be players starting with D'Angelo who are going to start getting upset with the way he handles himself, and then they won 4 of their next 23 games. I was like, watch them lose out and be the worst team in the league, and they did that. Then they win 3 straight to finish off this road trip, 4-3 in overtime at San Jose. Then they win 4-2 at the Kings on New Year's Eve before winning 4-1 at Anaheim on Monday. That's probably enough for me to fade them. But I'm hesitant, and I'm hesitant. I would prefer a bigger risk reward than a plus 130 or whatever it is for the Coyotes, coming off their second straight loss, 5-3 at Florida on Tuesday. Take it away here, Gokester. We might need to speed it up a little bit. Coyotes Flyers.
Yeah, this one here. More I'm thinking about this game, more I'm thinking it's going to be an over here, Jim. Schmaltz wasn't in the lineup a couple games ago, and I was saying just how much production he was giving this hockey team. And he's back in the lineup. They don't have O'Brien, but he's not nearly as much of an impact. Still without Michelli. But they're coming off 5-3 loss against Florida, 5-3 loss against Tampa Bay. You got Philadelphia, who are scoring, though, Jim. They're starting to get a lot healthier, too. They're a fairly healthy hockey team. Missing a couple players still, but compared to what it was. Winning, coming off the road trip. But looking at Arizona, they're defensively, they got issues. 60% penalty kill last 10 games, 58% on the road, Jimmy. That's very problematic. Only 15% power play. Much better team at home. I do think originally, I'm going to stick with my original play here. It's probably against most people, but I'm going to take, you know what? Actually, I'm not, because with Schmaltz back, I do think that even though it's one player, they're not going to lose. They could lose another one, but I'm going to take full game over. That's what I'm going to do. It's only at 6. I saw here, guys. I was thinking of doing first period, both teams to score, but I want 60 minutes with these. Even with this goaltending too, Vejmelka's he's not been good on the road. He's 0-7-1, and he's 5-11 and 2. Carter Hart's 6-7-1, but both goalies got above 3.0 goals against Jim. Coming off those losses, Philadelphia's still been able to score 23% power play at home. I'm going to take the over 6 as an addition here. I originally had Philadelphia, to be honest, in regulation, but more I'm looking at those losses. Schmaltz is back in the lineup too after missing a couple. I'm going to take full game over 6, -110 I'm seeing.
All right, let's give you that full game over 6. A lot of cappers in the chat liking that look over 6 at -110. I'd be curious just quickly to see what the team total is for the Coyotes, because a great point by Johnny Schwartz is that Carter Hart coming back. He hasn't played since December 23rd, so coming back from injury. They're coming back from playing good hockey on the road. Now they're at home. But damn, that 2.5 is not worth it, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm starting to lean towards the Coyotes. This is a spot like we were talking about with the Habs losing 6 straight on the road and coming back home. The Philly ending the road trip so strong and then coming back home.
Yeah, and just defensively for Arizona too, Jimmy. They're not good on the road defensively at all. Special teams, they got big problems. And that's a pretty good sample size too on the road for Arizona. But they are scoring. They can score. That's the thing. Arizona's got enough offense to keep up. It's just stopping the puck. And Philadelphia, they're fairly a healthy hockey team. Power play's been okay at home. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the over 6. I wouldn't talk anyone off Arizona though, because I'm off Philly. I was originally on Philly, but I'm off it now.
Yeah, I guess I have some interest. There's Cindy Plays Horses. Great to see you. Happy New Year's. Great to have you back in action. JPZ said, hope for no scoring first 10 and try to bet live over 5.5. That's one way of doing it. Real Deal Prime talking about DeBrusk being put on IR. Yeah, it hurts my hockey pool. Nice late pick for me. And on the outside looking in, giving you a shout out for the big parlay he hit on Tuesday. I like your over 6 at -110. I just can't back the Coyotes under any circumstance.
You know what, Jim? I might even add another one here. Arizona first period.
I thought of that.
I think just with Hart coming back, they're fat and happy for sure. Arizona, Schmaltz, like I'm saying, I know he was out, I believe last game too. I know he's out the game against Tampa Bay. I would think this team comes out strong in the first, to be honest. Full game, I can't trust them, but do I want to add it?
Well, take your time here. We can revisit it as well here. Let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Kraken 20-12-4, 10-4-2 on the road at the Leafs, 23-7, 13-2-4 at home. Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Grubauer, Samsonov. I'm not sure if that's the way it will be. Samsonov, I should say. Grubauer 3-7-1, 3.53 goals against average, 881 save percentage. Samsonov 11-3-1, 2.38 goals against average, 914 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Seattle power play 21.3%, penalty killing at 68.4%. Those of you guys who were wondering, and again, we talked so much. Sorry to kind of off tangent, but we talked so much about how we work together. And Dennis has been really good with because he does this full time. He's just always looking at the markets. And so he gave us the Flames to win the division last year, plus 275. That was a big, big hit for me. I only had 2 units on it, but, for me, that was a juicy, over $1,000 hit. And we hear he gave us the Rangers. Well, he gave us the Kraken and the Rangers. He talked about those 2 things. The Rangers to make the playoffs now is -225. He got in the Kraken to not make the playoffs at plus 265. Now that's at plus 120. So always keep your ear out when our friends are like, hey, I'm studying something, because it wasn't even on my radar. And I wish I had gone on the Kraken with them. But I am happy that I have the Rangers look from our friend Dennis Garcia, a.k.a. Sky Dragon. Okay, so here, Kraken coming off their second straight impressive win, 5-2 at Edmonton on Tuesday, but they look bad. And then the Leafs coming off their second loss in 3 games, 6-5 in a shootout on Tuesday. There was a lot of red flags for me in that game. And, we talked a little bit about them not having Mason Marchment with that horrific trade that Dubas made. But they got out hit, they got pushed around, and their goaltending didn't look good. And it was a far cry from what we'd seen from them in the past when they were handling all the defensive issues. So let me just quickly set a table for the line history here. But this is not a spot where Toronto's going to get hot like they were. There has been a 9-cent move towards them from -213 to -220. There's been a 3-cent move to the over. Take it away, Gokster, Kraken, Leafs.
All right, yeah. In this game here, I do think Toronto will bounce back. To be honest.
Oh,
Jim.
wow, big news. Sorry, fanatical. Halak is starting for the Rangers. Halak, who had those spectacular performances in the Montreal uniform years ago. Anybody on the Rangers probably is a little more uncomfortable. And Slatsy saying that Murray is confirmed. What a Tory Coker. Great to see you, my man. So Halak in.
Yeah, that's interesting with Halak, and you got to think there's you got to like that over sounds even, it does sound better now with Halak in. But looking at this game, Seattle and Toronto, I'm seeing Jones or Grubauer. They need consistency. I'm seeing the beat writers are saying so. Consistency, but look at what Jones is. He's 8-1-1, Jim, on the road. It's just his save percentage is 8.90, 3.20 goals against. This team, they can score, but again, their power play of late is 11%. On the road, it's 11%. Toronto, I do think that was one game, but I do think they bounce back here. Seattle defensively is okay. Goaltending-wise, though, there's nothing to call home about. Nylander, though, for Toronto, Jim, I'm seeing he's day-to-day. If anyone in the chat can have confirmation on if Nylander is going to be in or out, because everyone knows that's a key player to miss. But 5-0-1 at home, Toronto. That was their first regulation, or not? Sorry, they didn't even lose in regulation. They haven't lost in regulation at home and since December on. 13 goals against. I know I don't have many cases, I guess, for this bet, Jim, but where I'm going to go with this is I do think both teams are going to score in the first period.
Martin Jones confirmed.
Martin Jones confirmed. I like that. I got some stats for you guys here. Last 10 games, Toronto's first period over-under. Jim's 8-2 to the over. So they have been allowing goals as well as scoring them. Looking at Seattle, 7-3 on the road, first period over-under. So I got trends in my favor here. The trends have been kind to us too. I've been taking first period over-unders, second period over-unders this year, and they've been pretty good with the trends. So both teams have scored, Jim's plus 160.
All right. Seattle, Toronto, first period, BTTS. What was it, plus 160?
Plus 160. Yeah, the night line's pretty high. And I'm seeing someone, Johnny in the chat saying he's on the under in the first period under. I get it. Toronto, you got to think they're not gonna get pushed around like they did that last game. But Seattle, just looking at their lineup before this show, I'm pretty high on this Seattle team. I was at the beginning of the year, to be honest, Jim. Just their additions that they've made are so much deeper, and they got a healthy Tanev who was out all last year. It's just defensively, it's goaltending, really, in my opinion. They don't have the goaltending that they need to go deep. So that's why I think there's a pissed off Toronto hockey team and a team in Seattle who's 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games on the road.
I hear you. I want to watch Toronto longer because watching that watching that St. Louis game made me think, I don't want futures on this hockey team. And I know there's everybody, with the vividness bias of them failing in the playoffs. They have the best group of forwards in the NHL. And I believe, the Rangers, could have something to say about that. And if Colorado was healthy and Dallas could have something to say about that. I mean, it's arguable, obviously. All right, let's move past it. Goksters on Seattle, Toronto, both teams to score. Here we go. And they're saying that Wild Bill and Nylander will be back in action. Let's move on. Islanders, Oilers. What happened with Shesterkin, I'm concerned happens here with Sorokin.
Could.
I think he started 6 straight. I don't have that in front of me. Yeah. But I was like, oh shit, because this line didn't make a lot of sense here. And Slatsy saying greatest goaltending performance I ever saw. Halak playing for the Habs and beating the Caps, 49 saves. It was 10 years ago. He was spectacular in that run. He sure was. But here, Islanders, Oilers, Rogers Place. So this is what happens I'm not going to speak for anybody else.
Hit the like button.
I'm not going to speak for anybody else. There is Jeff Slaughter in the house.
Giveaway.
150 likes. Jose will pick 2 winners. I'll be sending $50 too. Okay. I like it. I like this.
I love it.
Very, very exciting. Our guy, Jeff Slaughter. Okay, so what happens to me is I look at the Islanders against the Oilers, and my first instinct is, oh, the Islanders are live here.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that because I just watched the Islanders beat up on the Canucks 6-2. In that hockey game, you want to hear a red flag for a hockey team? In that hockey game, the Canucks blocked 3 shots. That's what they did. They blocked 3 shots. And it makes me fucking despise that hockey team. And the people who are now calling for Oliver Ekman-Larsson to be, bought out. Dudes, those were the same fucking clowns who were saying what a great trade we made with the Coyotes when I was fucking hammering against it. But I digress. Here, Islanders beat the Canucks 6-2. Oilers lose 5-2 at home to the Kraken. And that's in my head. And of course, it's in my head. I've got this fucking bias because I just watched those 2 things happen. And now I feel like, I got to take a few steps back because you look at the line and you're like, Jesus, really? Oh, well, it's gone down. But the Islanders were plus 150. They went down to plus 140. Now they're plus 135. So they're getting lower. But clearly to me, that is just a bias from what we just saw. And if you focus on what we just saw, it's not like NFL where I think what we just saw is extremely important. I think it can hurt you thinking about what you just saw in NHL. So here we go. Islanders, Oilers, Skinner, and possibly Sorokin, maybe not Sorokin.
Varlamov, who we got here, right?
Yeah, it'd be Varlamov. So take it away for us here, Gokster. Islanders, Oilers.
Yeah, no, you're making great points there, Jim. When it comes to Vancouver here, I know we're not talking about them, but yeah, just a lot of problems in Vancouver land. But Islanders and Edmonton, I don't need to talk about them. Back-to-back against Calgary. So that's the question. Is it going to be Sorokin, Varlamov? I would actually rather Varlamov, to be honest, Jim, in this spot. But if Sorokin does go, he's going to have 4 days rest because they don't play again until Tuesday after playing Friday. So they'll have a lot of time off. It's been a long road trip for them, too. 9% power play on the road for the Islanders. That is awful, Jimmy. 9% power play, 6% power play in the last 10 games. So they have injuries, too, to Clutterbuck, Palmieri, Pelech, Wallstrom, and Holmstrom. A couple Stroms are out of the lineup for the Islanders. And I don't see a lot of goals, to be honest. Now, it is Stuart Skinner for the Oilers, but with Draisaitl back in the lineup, because he was not in the lineup for a couple games, him back in the lineup, it's a fairly healthy hockey team now, coming off 2 losses. You got a chance to beat up on a team in the Islanders, I think, that are a little tired, even though they did look really good. They came back against Vancouver the other game there, put up 6, but again, that is Vancouver. I'm going to lean. I'm not leaning, actually. I'm going to be taking this one, guys. Regulation, Edmonton to get her done. That's going to be at plus 100, Jimmy. Anyone get a better 9 in the chat? Love to hear it. And if you didn't already know, smash the like button. Giving away $50 here coming up. But yeah, give me the Edmonton Oilers to cash some tickets tonight, Jim.
I like it. I like it just because I stayed off the Islanders, but there's no way I would back the Oilers in any circumstance watching them play hockey right now. Draisaitl looks banged up, and now they're so easy to play against. But you have to have the right personnel that can slow down a guy like McDavid or slow down that one line. But the Oilers need fucking help, man. They need to add a player. That's exactly who they were last year before they added Kane.
Yeah,
they need depth so badly. So
yeah, Hyman stepping up. Nugent Hopkins is there too, but I hear what you're saying. Other than the rest of them, it's pretty thin. But special teams, Jimmy, that's what I'm really leaning towards here. If you got special team factor coming into play here, Edmonton's 38% power play last 10. They got a 33% at home, and then the penalty kill is awful. It's below double digits for the Islanders. Road split, 73% penalty kill, 79% penalty kill last 10 for the Islanders. I think it's a tough spot. I really do. And those 2 losses from Edmonton, got the best player in the game, as you guys know, in 97. So give me the Edmonton Oilers. I don't usually take this hockey team either, but I think I'm confident they get her done here. They don't lose another one.
Yeah, I'd be Islanders or no play, but I will cheer you on here because I got futures with the Oilers. All right, we got to speed this up a little bit. We have the next up Colorado Avalanche 19-14-3, 10-7-0 on the road. The Vancouver Canucks 16-18-3, 7-10-1 on at home here. Rogers Arena, Vancouver, BC. Alexander Georgiev 15-9-3, 2.68 goals against average, 915 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Spencer Martin, who's been bad. I mean, but it's the players in front of him. 3 blocked shots. God, I fucking wish that I could just switch it off and hate this hockey team. I wish I could put my whole life behind me and just stop cheering for these fucking soft ass fucking. Oh, I hate the way they play hockey. The only guy who cares about winning, to me at this point, is Bruce, our coach. He can't sleep at night. He's just losing his shit over the team. And to me, JT Miller. I mean, say what you want about JT Miller wants to win so badly. He's angry out there, and I like him. Colorado power play, Vancouver power play. They're both very strong. 25.2%. Colorado power play been dropping with the injuries and not having McKinnon for a bit. 75.7% penalty killing. We're getting into NBA and college basketball next, so this will be just a couple more games in NHL here. Vancouver power play 25.2%, penalty killing 67.6%. Just they're unwatchable. I can't put on the Canucks game if I want to stay like a loving father and a kind partner.
Well, that's good. That's good, Jim. It's like the triggers, right? That's good. That's good. I don't watch Bronco games either anymore, and I've been a happy man since. So
I just become a fucking asshole. Like I can just feel the anger coming up right now. Avalanche coming off their 4 straight loss, 3-2 at home to the Kings on Monday night. Look, I don't want the Avs at this price, but I just don't want to talk about the Canucks anymore. I'm gonna fucking lose it. So why don't you finish off this and we'll move on?
Okay, I won't be too long on the Canucks. I can't back them right now, Jim. I agree. 5-5 with Martin. Their goaltending situation is sad to see, really, with how Demko's fallen off. Martin and Delia they're not going to get it done, in my opinion. Georgiev, though, guys, he's looked really good this year. 8-4, .916, 2.81 on the road, coming off 2 losses too for Colorado here. I don't think this is going to be their third. I think they're pissed off enough. Both teams are pissed off. Don't get me wrong, but you got McKinnon back in the lineup finally here. Power play and penalty. Both special teams these are 2 hockey teams that haven't been playing that well lately, but give me Colorado, Jimmy. It's going to be an addition. In the money line parlay, I have this one. I'm going to still rock with the Rangers. We'll hold our breath, plug our nose, but Rangers, Colorado, plus 144. I feel like I can get a better number now, but as of now, 144.
All right, that's locked in for you, Gokster. Okay, there's Jordan Nordman in the house. What up, Nordy? Osby asking if Blancam has his pimp slap play today rolling. Clint saying at least they can score. Look, they shouldn't be worse this year. Kuzmenko and Mikheyev are playing well. It's just that all of the mistakes that the management has made are just blowing up in their face, and it's the worst defense I've ever seen in my entire life. And City Place Horses looking at Gulfstream Park Race 1, the 3 at 13-1, a bomb. Cindy Place Horses has a bomb at Gulfstream Park Race 1. Shout out to Cindy. Next up for us, I moved on the under 6 at -105 in Pittsburgh Penguins, Vegas Golden Knights. It's right there. There's been no movement at all on that spot for me. We're at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yari hurt right now, so Casey DeSmith will be in. He's been fine. I don't think there's that much of a drop-off. Logan Thompson in the other net. Pittsburgh power play at 22.1%, penalty killing at 84.3%. Vegas power play at 25%, penalty killing at 78.1%. Galactic High looking at the Avs team total over 3.5.
I was looking at that too, yeah.
I get it. The Penguins coming off their 5th straight loss, 2-1 setback in the Outdoor Classic at Fenway on Monday night. They're missing Letang and Petrie. So what are they missing? They're missing power play defensemen. They're missing outlet passes. They're missing offense. A ton of offense is brought from these guys. I know that they're not very good defensively, but it hurts the offense badly. Vegas comes in off their 2nd straight win, 3-2 at Colorado on Monday night. Eichel expected to return for Vegas. He's missed 13 games, including the past 11. Marchessault is still out. I just don't buy it, man. I don't. Osby says, at the dentist getting this root canal done right now. That's what I feel like when I talk about the Canucks. But respect, Osby.
Respect
Thank you.
that.
I love it, man. That's a real capper right there, Osby. So I'm on the under 6 at -105. I love unders with the Penguins. It's not like a ridiculous ROI, but I just love the accountability that Crosby, puts into everybody's heads, and the defensive accountability. And I think that Eichel coming back might be a little bit of a work in progress. And when we talk about the Penguins missing defensemen, we have to talk about who Vegas is missing. And their injury list is rough. It's a rough list right now. Let's just quickly touch on it here. Eichel, we expect to be back, but Theodore out, Alec Martinez out. And that's just huge to have those two guys out. You have Zach Whitecloud out as well. So, I'm on the under 6 at -105. Take it away, Gozer.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. One thing that would kind of cause for concern would be the goaltending guys for the Pittsburgh Penguins is going to be Casey DeSmith. Yari is also out for a couple games. So Casey DeSmith, Jim, I don't know if you brought that up, but he's 3. Okay, sorry, my apologies.
No,
through 3-5-1. Yeah, he's not exactly a guy I trust long term. They're coming off those couple losses here from Pittsburgh. Where I'm going to go to this game, though, guys, is the injuries are too much, in my opinion, for Vegas. They're coming off a win 3-2 at Colorado. I didn't think they're going to be able to pull that out. Thompson's looked pretty good. But where I'm going to go here is I'm going to go first period, actually, Jim. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh are going to bounce back here early. Stats here, I don't actually have my first period numbers in front of me, but just looking at this hockey game, 28% power play. Both power plays are actually humming. Vegas, surprisingly, still 34% last 10 games, 31% at home. But a penalty kill, 91% for the Pittsburgh Penguins, 93% on the road. So I like you're saying with the Crosby and how accountable this Pittsburgh team is. I like the coach too. Give me Pittsburgh. I know that's a brutal thing. You like the coach. Who gives a shit if you like the coach? But yeah, Pittsburgh first period money line, guys. I do think they're going to come out strong. I watched a lot of their game against Boston too, the outdoor game. They were the team in the first period. They could have very well. I don't believe they were up in the first, but they were all over Boston in the first period. And if they do that again against Vegas here, which I think they will, they'll be up in the first. So Pittsburgh first period money line -105, Jim.
You got it locked in. Schwartzy, who goes to all the games, says they're not going to win tonight. First period -105. I don't want the Pens, and I don't want the Knights. But I like the under 6. I bet it at -105 available right now. I love the story, Lucas. Love it. Love that stuff. Love the passion around it. Let's go Bruins, Kings, Crypto Arena in LA. Linus Ullmark, Phoenix, Copley. We think Copley's been okay. Well, he's 9-1, but he's 908 save percentage. Boston 27% power play, 85.1% penalty killing. Kings 23.5% power play, 72.2% penalty killing. I can't imagine why their penalty killing is so bad. They have the right players, you would think, to have a strong penalty killing. Bruins coming off their second win in 3 games, 2-1 over the Penguins at Fenway Park on Monday night. DeBrusk scored both his goals and fractured his fibula in the process. We're not sure. There's some places I think he'll be back pretty soon, but he's been put on injury reserve, and the Bruins need it so badly for their LTIR. So now they can finally have a little bit of cap space. They need it so badly. So
blessing in disguise.
Well, we'll see how long he'll be out, and it hurts my hockey pool. Kings coming off their third win in 4 games, 3-2 at home over the Stars on Tuesday. Take it away here, Forrest Goekster, and be tight. Final game on the card.
All right, let's be short and sweet, guys. Last one here, Boston, LA. LA Kings are doing a lot better than I thought they would here, Jim. To be honest, all year, I have Quick down though. I know you brought up Phoenix Copley. Could be Quick here. Phoenix Copley though has definitely been the better of the 2 goalies. Quick 5-5, as you guys know, goals against above 3, save percentage below 900. Allmark, give him the crown right now for he's the best goalie in the league. His numbers have been just lights out on the road, 9-1, save percentage above .930. So I would lean towards Boston here, but it's not a play I feel strong about. They're coming off the 2-1 win, and then also LA. That was a good win they had against Dallas. Didn't think they're going to pull that off. Lean to the under, I guess that's where I would be looking here, Jim. But it's not a strong enough play for me here in this LA Kings Boston Bruins game. 7-0-3. Both teams are playing good hockey. Both teams have won 7 games in the last 10. So whenever I see that, I would expect a tighter affair here.
I came so close. Betting the under.
Yeah, it's tight here. That's where I would be looking, but I don't feel strong enough.
There's been a 10-cent move at Bet365 since I almost moved on it.
It's 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The fact that you're leaning towards it too, I came so close to betting it. It was at minus 105 then. It's at minus 115 now. That's telling me that I think it's the right side. I'm going to move on.
And one more thing, Boston's power play on the road, Jim, 11%. That's definitely a lot weaker than it is at home. So yeah, I would lean towards Boston and LA under.
All right, there you have it, a full breakdown of NHL. I was happy to have the opportunity to break it down with you. I was very angry about how I handled that small card yesterday. I might move on the Hurricanes on the -1 line. I know it's expensive, but I just feel like, and then you'll say, well, why don't you then take the puck line? And I'd prefer not to. I may move on the Hurricanes. Gokster's on the Capitals in regulation at -125. I'm adding the under 6.5 in Washington, Columbus. To my action. I'm already on the over 6 at -115 in Rangers, Montreal, with confidence there. Gokster has a money line parlay with the Rangers. I'll include. We're staying off Blues, Devils. Over 6. Gokster's on the Coyotes, Flyers.
I'm adding one. I'm adding the Arizona +110 on the first period money line, guys. I've been itching at the old crawl the whole show, so I'm going to take first period Arizona +110 and a bounce back.
I like it. Then Gokster, Seattle, Toronto, first period, both teams score at +160. Oilers in regulation at +100. And then the Rangers Avs parlay is +144 for Gokster. I'm on the under 6 at -105 in Pittsburgh, Vegas. Gokster's on the Pens first period. And I'm adding the under 6 in Boston, LA Kings. Die Hard loves it, saying, Yotes, there's Sharpie, 85 days until opening day. I love it, Sharpie. Looking forward to see how you rock this year. Please help Mike save his home. Says excellent show. Thank you. A new capper in the chat. Love seeing you. So respect. Wild Hound also giving us 4 teams to score at least 1 goal at +285 there.
That makes sense. That makes some sense.
Also, when we give out the bonuses, the cash out surprises from Jeff Slaughter, I've been told that only members will be considered for the $50 prize or the $100 prize. So if you could, hopefully get some more members here for us at Pub Sports Radio. And Sweaty Butcher, he is back from COVID, recovered from COVID and back in action. I love hearing that. Much love to you. Gokster, absolutely great job. Go get that cash. And I'm meeting with Jose after the show to get your picks from the week I was gone. So you'll be all fully back in action including with your stuff from the Peter Loshak show. Please follow our man Gokster on Twitter at EGO47_. Gokster, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, just before we go, guys, get cash those tickets. Get those pockets fatter. PGA guys, we do a PGA show. Just want to promote that as well. Jimmy, myself, and Connor Mack every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, guys. It's the start of the first week of the golf season, going off in about a couple hours here. So Century Tournament of Champions, guys, be sure to check that out. We got a bunch of picks in action there. And if any golf fans that want to jump on, by all means, love to have some guests this season for the PGA Pub Hub. But other than that, Jim, be good, brother. I'll see you next week and get that cash.
I love it. There he is, Mr. Gokster here. Love it. So let's go into NBA. I don't. With the transparency and the honesty that we'll have in the show, we'll always have. And sometimes it makes us feel very good about where we're at. And sometimes, it's embarrassing. And then I always feel like I have to, God damn, I just can't even look. I got the fucking Trevor Linden cards here. And all I can think about is the Canucks 3 blocked shots. 3 blocked shots. Trevor Linden would block 3 shots a shift. Fucking, oh God, why is this here anyways? God, fuck, Jesus, makes me so angry. Okay. Last year we got down 23 units and it was fucking embarrassing in NBA. We finished the year up 18 units. I feel like I need to say that. Just because I'm fucking embarrassed about the record here in NBA. So I've already fired at 3 spots here, but it fucking sucks, man. All right, let's get to work here. I do know that I can succeed. This is 5 years of doing this, probably only one season. And that was the bubble season when things were all crazy, where I didn't end up double digit up in NBA. And we have so many great NBA cappers to work with. I'm really angry. Okay, let's move on. Let's get to work here. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Grizzlies at Orlando Magic. After NBA, we have 10 NCAA basketball games that we have picked out, and it's been an excellent year there, but whatever. Memphis Grizzlies 24-13, 9-10 on the road at the Orlando Magic, 14-24, 10-11 at home. Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Memphis 4-1 over their past 5, playing at the pace at 102.80 possessions a game. Orlando 2-3, playing at the pace at 101.90 possessions a game. And a lot of love to Sharpie for the Balking Dead, which will be back in action. It's going to be really fun watching Sharpie after the dominance he showed last year in MLB. Okay, so let's go to the line history first here. And this has not moved since I bet it either. Memphis opening up as 6-point favorites. They're now 7-point favorites, slightly juiced to them. From a total perspective, it opened up at 227. It shot all the way up to 231. Both teams are on the second half of a back-to-back. 56% of the tickets are on Orlando and 87% of the cash. I don't consider it a public dog unless it's over 60%, so I'm not concerned at the 56 right now, although I prefer it was lower. I moved on the Magic at +7. The Grizzlies looked excellent last night. The Charlotte Hornets are the worst team in the NBA. So great. Congratulations. I mean, maybe the Spurs have something to say about that, but they certainly look without Oubre and Hayward that they're the worst team in the NBA. So I don't care that they beat them 131-107 and talked about how good they were afterwards. You hear them talk about how spectacular they are. Look, Desmond Bane's back, and that's a big deal. 19 points and 11 boards. Ajay went for 23. Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, they can do so many things for you. And yeah, they have a swagger, 18 points. Jaren Jackson, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocked shots. But, man, the Hornets are awful. And look, the Memphis defense stepping up. They've limited opponents to 103.8 points per game over their 12 wins since the beginning of December. Their last 4 teams, they've allowed 108 points or less. Great. Now get on a plane after beating the worst team in the league and play Orlando in a half-empty stadium and show that intensity again right away. I just don't believe that they can do it. And I'll let them beat me here. The Magic snapped their 3-game losing streak last night with a 126-115 win at home over Oklahoma City. They don't have to go anywhere. Banchero looked excellent. 25 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. Wendell Carter Jr., first double-double since being out with the plantar fasciitis. He'd missed 18 of 19 games. 13 points, 13 boards. He's a big piece of this puzzle. Markelle Fultz, 13.6 boards, 4 assists, 1 of 8 Magic scoring double figures. Gary Harris starting to find himself, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. He went for 18 points. That's just his 9th game of the year. And Franz Wagner returns from his suspension. So Franz Wagner and Moritz Wagner. I forget which one's Wagner and which one's Wagner. Fuck. But Moritz Wagner will serve his 2nd game of his 2-game suspension. So he's still going to be out. But I like it. I'm on Magic +7 and -110. Spenny Pennybombs saying John Morant, double 2. And IAOD talking Detroit basketball. Reich saying backwood this game. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks. This was climbing, and finally I'm like, look, I'm going to stop. And Sharpie said neither team played a lot of minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if Carter sits on back-to-back. This spot here, they're both Wagner's, says Zachary R. I thought one goes by Wagner, though, and one doesn't want to. But here, this got too high for me. Look, this is the game everybody wants to watch tonight. Celtics 26-12, 11-7 on the road. Mavericks 22-16, 15-5 at home. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Boston 3-2 over the past 5, playing at the pace of 102.4 possessions a game. Dallas 5-0, playing at the pace of 96.49 possessions a game. Viper says his total's gone under in 16 of Dallas's last 24 games when playing at home against Boston. Look, Boston's angry. And anybody who wants to say, I want the Celtics coming off of 2 losses is totally a fair statement. But do you want to catch a falling knife? Do you want to step in the way of the Mavericks who've won 7 straight? If you do, I get it, but I don't. This has gone up another half point since I bet it. It's now at 232. Dallas is playing at 96.49 possessions a game. They've won 7 straight. You think they're going to let the Celtics dictate the pace? The Mavericks don't want to be running up and down the floor with you. So I just don't think that they're going to allow the Celtics to speed up and down the floor. So BJ says Mavs haven't played anybody. Celtics just lost by 33 points to Oklahoma City. They've allowed 273 points over the last 2 losses. And look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't back them if you want them. If you want the Celtics, you think they're going to bounce back off the 2 games, take them. And yeah, look, BJ, what's worse? Almost losing to the Rockets or losing by 33 to Oklahoma City? I mean, yeah, both teams play down to the level of the competition. We see that all the time. So I mean, 18-point deficit that came out on the third quarter. And winning streak, Mavericks longest since their 2011 championship season. Dom Play in the house. What up, Dom Play? And Christian Wood averaging 20.9 points, 8.6 boards over the last 10 games, looking very good. So I can understand backing either of these teams from a side perspective, which is why I'm staying off the side. I'm on the under 231.5. It's gone up to 232. So, if Dallas runs up and down the floor with the Celtics, they're going to lose the basketball game. So why would they? 96.49 possessions a game. They've been playing the last 5. James S. got Boston first half. Let's move to the only game I didn't move on. Utah Jazz, Houston Rockets, Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. Both teams are coming off 5 straight losses. Oh, I didn't go over the cash flow or the line history, did I, in that in the Mavs Celtics game? I was just so ready to discuss it myself. Boston opening up at -2. They're now at -3. It's dropped to 2.5 at times. This total is still exact. It hasn't moved from Pinnacle from when I bet it, but it's moved to bet 365. And then from a cash flow standpoint, 45% of the tickets, 61% of cash on Dallas. And 82% of the tickets are on the over. And we don't have a cash flow, but I'm gonna go up against those guys. Mally Mal in the house. Reich says we on Laurie Markkinen points tonight. I did the service of looking at my NBA top shots. What was I thinking? I mean, I didn't put money. I only put in that first $50 into it, and then it was up. It was worth way over. It was up worth like $2,000. Now it's worth it's just like real cards. Now it's all fucking worthless. Unbelievable. I was like, what am I being offered $1 for all these cards? It's fucking stupid. All right, back to this Jazz Rocket spot. 9,378 tickets in here. 69% of tickets, 76% of cash on the Jazz. And then 49% of tickets, but 90% of cash on the under. That's interesting. Some big bets coming in on the under in this one. Let's take a look at the line history here. The Jazz open up at -6 at Pinnacle. They're now -7. From a total standpoint, opened up at 232. It's now down to 230.5. These aren't the Rockets of last year. They're playing at a much slower pace, 98.90 possessions a game. So as I said, both teams coming off 5 straight losses. Jazz coming off their 5th straight loss, 117-115 at home for Sacramento on Tuesday. All these games that they've lost, they've been right there. It's the opposite of Houston. Houston's lost 10 of 11. The average margin of defeat in those losses, 12.1. But here, the Jazz have been in all these games. They've lost their 5 games by a combined 15 points. And then Houston, it was just, they were too awful. They were so bad on the road against the Pelicans that, they've been quite a bit better at home. I know we're just talking about 6-12 at home. I mean, the Jazz have been better on the road than they are at home. So, Sweaty Butcher says Rockets 9-5-2 against spread as home dogs this season. Dan Kelly said Houston 4th game in 6 days. This is enough to make me not want to be involved. Aaron Gaza saying Houston will tank in this one. Let's move on to the final game before we get into college basketball. Clippers, Nuggets, Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. I moved on the Nuggets at -5. It's still there at -5. It actually opened at 5.5 and has dropped to 5. The 5 is slightly juiced here. We take a look at the total in this one. Opening up at 226, it's shot up to 229.5. And looking at the cash flow for this final game on the card, and I apologize for my son crying in the background, 56% of the tickets on the Nuggets, 63% of the cash. So it's not quite a public spot yet. 78% of tickets are on the over, and clearly the books are uncomfortable with that move to the over. Seeing two teams playing at 99 possessions a game makes me wonder how it could be this high. But Rob Free, I'm totally with you. So you're telling me the Jazz have to win by 7 on the road with that defense? No thanks. It would be Houston or nothing. Mark's review says hold your nose and takes the Clippers +5. If you do, can you get Paul George in the lineup or Kawhi Leonard? I can understand the Clippers battle in situations like this. They're coming up their third straight loss, 110-100 at home versus the Heat on Monday night. So they're rested. They're going into elevation, but they're rested. They've lost, 3 straight, as I said. Kawhi Leonard dealing with a non-COVID illness. So will he want to play in the altitude? I don't know. And Paul George dealing with a hamstring tweak. I don't expect him to be on it. And 2 $50 winners will be picked as soon as we get to 150 likes. Our guy Jeff Slaughter in the chat. Dan Kelly says Clippers on 2 days off, but playing their 7th game without 2 consecutive games at home. Jonathan Muniz says, I don't ever bet the Clips without the full squad. So, both him and Leonard are on the trip. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are on the trip. So they're both listed as questionable. Maybe they both go. The only player for the Nuggets not expecting to go is Jeff Green. And look, the Nuggets had their 2-game winning streak snapped with that loss at Minnesota on Monday night, 124-111. And I expect them to bounce back here. I really do. I expect them to bounce back. So there you go. I'm on the Nuggets -5, -110. I'm on the Magic +7 at -110. And I'm on the under 231.5 at -110. So we go from NBA over to college basketball. For me yesterday, it started awful. Auburn first half -4 was a loser. Oklahoma fell apart early and then came back and almost covered the first half, but didn't. UConn Providence, Nasty Nate was at that game. That was a winner for me. Baylor first half -3 was a winner for me, an easy one. The bounce back spot worked very well there. And then Virginia Tech first half -3 was a push. Let's bring on our NCAA basketball expert. We have 10 games that we are breaking down here together. Please welcome Dallas, Texas, Dabby Cab in the house. Dabby Cab, how are you?
Oh, good, man. Ready to get back. Yesterday was shit, but that's how this goes, up and down. The day before yesterday, I swept, and then yesterday got swept. So we keep moving forward.
We keep moving forward. Absolutely, Dabby. And you have had a good season, so don't let one tough day bother you. I just felt like it just wasn't. I was bad yesterday. So
I'm mad at myself. There were some really, especially with the way that I bet, there were some easy dogs that I should have been on yesterday, especially in the first half that I missed on. But, you live and learn. If you're not learning, then you're not going to get better. So that's what it is.
I agree. There's Wine Time Sports in the house. All right, college basketball. We got big games here. We start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Maryland, the Terps. 10-4, 1-2 in the Big Ten at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. 10-4, 2-1 in conference. We're at Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway. Let's take a look at the line history here to get things started. Move over here, and then we will talk about where the cash lies. Maryland against Rutgers. Let's go. So here, Maryland opens up at +5.5. They're now at +5. I think that's really telling. This total opened up at 127.5 and is up to 131. In the past, and I should be confident, I mean, the record is strong, but in the past, this would be an immediate bet on Maryland in this situation here. And 39% of tickets, 88% of the cash is on Maryland. 86% of tickets are on the over, and we see it climbing quickly. But they lost so badly at Michigan and that was on Sunday. So it's the perfect amount of space for me in between games. And Rutgers coming off the 65-64 win at Purdue on Monday's 8.5-point dogs. The biggest win, in ever? I mean, for Rutgers, basketball really showing how far they've come. And I want to bet Maryland. I want to bet Maryland badly.
You remember last year? Rutgers beat Purdue on that half-court shot.
Oh, it was magic.
Yeah. So Purdue's got a bone to pick with Rutgers, man. Sorry.
No doubt. But Purdue wasn't number 1 in the nation on that shot.
No, I was just saying that's twice in a row Purdue was still supposed to beat Rutgers, though.
No doubt. 8.5-point favorites. I want to bet Maryland. I figure if I'm too scared to bet Maryland, then I should bet them in the first half. But the market is telling us that this is a perfect bounce back situation against a team that's going to come back to earth. But do you want to fade Rutgers in Piscataway? God, it's hard. It's hard to do that. Take it away for us, Davy Cap, Maryland, Rutgers.
So a couple of the things, first off, obviously what I have in my notes, and it was a game I watched, was the way that Michigan beat Maryland. Like, that was just brutal. It was so bad. And Rutgers, this is obviously a possible letdown spot. Like you just said, think of a bigger win for them if you can. Rutgers at home, obviously, though, has been a force to reckon with. At times this year, Rutgers had struggled to score, though. They only put up 45 points against Seton Hall, only 61 against Miami. But their defense is where it's at. Rutgers is only allowing 55.2 points per game. That puts them fourth in the country. But then there's the huge fall off on offense, 110th in adjusted offense. They're shooting just 42% or 44.2% from the field, and 31.3% from beyond the arc, which is not very good. Maryland on the other side, they do have some good wins. They have a win against Illinois. They have that win against Miami. They have a win against St. Louis, who's a good team. They're shooting 45% from the field, also struggling beyond the arc, only shooting 30.8%. Also playing good defense. They're allowing 63.2 points per game. The Charlotte transfer guard that's been leading them, he's been good, Young. He's averaging 14 points per game. I agree. I almost jumped right on Maryland for this, but I stayed off just because Rutgers at home is something that scares the shit out of me.
I have to bet it. I just have to bet it. I just have to. I don't want to. I have to.
That's the funniest thing I've heard in a while. He said, I have to bet it. I don't want to, but I have to.
I do.
It's like me with Darvish.
Yeah, I have to. I'm going to take Maryland first half +3.
Now I can root for you, so I don't have to bet it. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Come on. This is like gambling 101. And I'm not saying that it's going to come through, but I can't be afraid of this spot here. I just can't. You're coming off beating a number one ranked team on their floor, and Maryland's coming off the worst game they played in how long? I mean, how many years? I mean, that was that bad. What was it? 44-13 at the half.
It was so bad.
So I have to. So let's not get. We don't need to harp on it anymore. But I'll take Maryland first half +3. Okay, let's just move past it because I don't want to get scared. Okay, next up here, our man DC Capper. He moved on the under 141 in Purdue, Ohio State. We just talked about Purdue and. DC Capper moved on that under 141. There's been a big move to the under. He was pushing us to get on it as soon as possible. And let's move on to Purdue, Ohio State. This one's going to be a lot of fun here. Purdue opening up at +1 at -108. There's still just +1 at -104. There's been no movement there. From a total side of things, it opened up at 141 and is down to 139. When we take a look at the cash flow for this one, Purdue, Ohio State, we're going to have some tickets here. 7,705 tickets, a highly bet game. 56% of the tickets and 66% of the cash is on Ohio State. 79% of the tickets and 97% of cash is on the under. 97% of cash is on the under. Ugh. Okay. Purdue, Ohio. Sorry, Tori's saying the guest giving out winners and they all can't hit. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tori. You're a good man. Sorry. Just when I don't succeed in this, I can't sleep. I just keep going over the mistakes that
I know, Jimmy. I've had a fucking amazing college basketball season. I couldn't fucking sleep last night. I lost fucking, almost $500, and I felt like shit. It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's handling the losses is the most difficult part of what we do, and then it's important to enjoy the wins, and we forget that. It's just, and I only said it because the losses hurt so much more than the wins feel good. But let's hammer this one here. Purdue coming in off having their season opening 13-game winning streak snapped in a 65-64 loss at home to Rutgers on Monday's 8.5-point favorites. Ohio State coming in off a very impressive 73-57 win at Northwestern on Sunday as 2-point favorites. I know that there's two things. There's a couple things at play. First off, you obviously expect a bounce back spot from a very good Purdue team. But then we see this often in college basketball that the teams get into conference play, and we're talking about the Big Ten here, and things get difficult, much more difficult in a hurry. And if you got a number one beside your team name, you're going to get every other team's best. And so Ohio wants to make a statement right here, and they're undefeated in 2 games in conference play. Take it away for us, Dabby Cab, Purdue, Ohio State.
Okay, so I've come so close to pulling the trigger on this one. I was on Ohio State against Northwestern last game, and that was a blast to be on them here. But I do like Purdue kind of in this spot. I'm going to go over some of the things here. Purdue's 2-0 right now on the road this season. They beat Florida State and Nebraska. They're putting up 76.3 points per game, which is putting them at about 100th, so a little above average there, but not much. They're holding opponents to only 60.9 points a game, which is 24th in the country. We'll see both these defenses are pretty good. That's why I think people like the under. Ohio State, on the other side, 2-0 in Big Ten play right now. They have a win against Rutgers, who's proving to be a pretty damn good Rutgers team this year. They have a win against Northwestern, which was last game. I think that Ohio State is undervalued. I don't necessarily think they are in this game. I just think in general that they are. And have been. They're underrated. Let me not use undervalued as a term. Let me say underrated is a better word than undervalued. Underrated. I think Ohio State's a little underrated. They're a perfect 7-0 right now at home. They're averaging 81 points per game, which is good for 29th. So they put up a shit ton of points here. They're only allowing 64.5 points, which puts them at 70th in the nation. But in the last 3 games, they've held opponents to 61 or fewer points. So 3 games straight, they've been playing outstanding defense. Purdue's 2 conference games that I alluded to earlier, it took overtime for them to get that win against Nebraska, and then they lost to Rutgers. So the 2 conference games that they're 1-1 on, on the road haven't gone well. I really want to bet Purdue because of bounce back spot and because of the fact that Zach Edey, so 7'4" Zach Edey, the only person I think that's going to cover him is going to be key for Ohio State. Or not the only person, but the main person. He's 6'8". Like there's a huge discrepancy there. I want to take a point with Purdue in the first half or a half a point just because I think it's value, kind of like I felt like on one of the games yesterday. I haven't bet it yet. I might come around to it. I don't know. This is a scary Ohio State team to get in front of, or I would have jumped all over Purdue with the point.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I think maybe the issue here for us is the UConn game yesterday. We see a team that had won, 14 straight games. They lose to Xavier. So now they're 3-1 in the Big East. And then they lose at Providence. And now this team that won 14 straight games is 3-2 in the Big East. So I think that is in our head. Do you think that the UConn game is in your head?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. That's and also I it's hard to I know this isn't a game that should be in somebody's head, but having Ohio State on a money line at -121 whenever they just absolutely beat the shit out of Northwestern last game that I bet them. This was just a few days ago. Like that's in my head. It's hard to go against somebody who you just cashed on, and it was an easy cash on top of that,
Man, if that is the case, because it's in my head, then I think we should probably just move on Purdue. But then again, you could say, look, conference play is much tougher than out of conference play. When you talk about the Big Ten. Big shout out to Matty Ice and Jonathan Munoz, number 7, gets the $50. Shout out to Jeff Slaughter and congratulations, Jonathan Munoz. I like it. Here we go. We have the taint play of the day in right now. Shout out to our guy, Matty Ice. He's on the under in Rutgers, Maryland, under 130.5. Rocks are 82 says December was my best month ever. Love these shows and
yeah.
all the info. Thank you, Rocks are 82. And Taint is in. So Taint is the under 130.5 in Maryland Rutgers. I just want to take a very quick look. Could you get the games back to Maryland Rutgers for a second? Jose, just so people know we're switching quickly here for a second. I'd be curious to see what's gone on with that total here in Maryland Rutgers. Opening up at 130. It's gone up a point at Pinnacle. Let's see what it's done over at Bet Online. That total opened up at 129.5. It's up to 131. And when we go over to the cash flow for that one, we don't know. Just we know that 86% of tickets are on the over. Very, very interesting. I'm going to need more time to study that spot. But there's Taint play of the day. Okay, let's move on. We talked about this Purdue-Ohio State spot, and maybe I don't need to force it. I mean, the question is, okay, let me just finish it with this before we get into SMU Houston with Purdue-Ohio State. Sorry to get you all over the place, Jose, but we'll do Purdue-Ohio State here. Is Purdue the best team in the country? Because if Purdue is the best team in the country, then they will bounce back here.
They're not I don't think we have a clear best team in the country right now. That's my personal opinion. I think we have. I mean, who I think I'd have to put Arizona, Houston, and even after yesterday's loss, I'd still have to put UConn up there probably for my top three.
So if they're not clearly the next team, then we can't. I don't know if we can bank on them having a bounce back here in Ohio State. I think maybe it's just
Ohio State might be a better team. I think Troy has it right there. Ohio State is underrated right now. I used the term undervalued and I corrected myself. I don't know if they're undervalued yet. I think that they're an underrated team. I think Ohio State's a pretty damn good basketball team. Oh, Kansas. Thank you, Bankrolls. Kansas is a great basketball team too. Yeah, they're definitely up there.
All right, well, let's move on. We talked about the Houston Cougars maybe being the best team in the country. Let's break down their game right here. SMU Mustangs 6-8, 1-0 in the American at Houston Cougars 14-1, 2-0 in conference. We are in Houston, Texas for this one. Let's take a look at line history. Opened up Houston minus 20.5. It's now down to minus 20. This total opened up at 131, and there's been a 5-cent move to the under. Logan, Loshak's every Tuesday here. Logan, every Tuesday. So let's take a look at the cash flow in SMU Houston. Pull this up here. Sorry, there's a lot of game. Here we go. We have 1,165 tickets in. 33% of the tickets, 77% of the cash on SMU. Then 53 and 51 on the over, so no help there. SMU comes in after opening their conference season with a 92-67 win at home over Tulsa on Sunday, 7.5-point favorites. It was an impressive performance. Houston comes in off its fifth straight win, 71-65, but it was underwhelming at home over UCF as 15.5-point favorites on Saturday night. Now, I already said that if Houston had have destroyed UCF, I would be on SMU immediately. But the fact that they kind of got their wake-up call in conference that this is not going to be a walk in the park, and now they play a rival. It kept me off being on SMU already. Take it away for us here, Dabby Cab, SMU, Houston.
So SMU has just not shot the ball well. 32.8% from beyond the arc, 48.1% from the field. They're not shooting free throws well. But Houston, they've done the same thing. They have these huge scoring droughts. Anybody that's bet on or been with Houston, huge scoring droughts. Last game against UCF, they shot just 37.5%. Marcus Sasser leads them. He's putting up an average of 15.9 points per game right now. He hasn't been shooting well from deep, and I expect that to change at some point. I think Sasser will get a shot back at some point. And Houston, like I said, they're absolutely a contender this year. They've shown that they can cover large spreads. But this isn't a spot for me to back Houston, not in conference play, not 20.5. Obviously, I think they could cover it, but this just feels like I'd just be holding on either way if I took it. On the total, I'd lean under just because, SMU can't shoot and Houston's going to exploit that. So I lean Houston and lean under, but I'm not betting this one either. I've got a few bets today, though.
Yeah, I don't want Billy Ferry saying maybe SMU team total under. Coin says feels like an SMU plus 20 spot. I would prefer they hadn't just stomped on Tulsa at home, because maybe they got their shooting right, which is a legitimate possibility, but they're also now going on to the road in a game where Houston just had an underwhelming performance, and now they're playing an in-state rival. I don't know if rival's enough, but an in-state foe, I should say, maybe. And there is our guy Jonathan, $50 richer. $50 richer. Get that, double that shit up with.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Turn that shit into 100. Take your best bet from today and double that shit up. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. The market is moving to SMU, so if you like them, that is a good sign. Yeah, I agree, Johnny Guns. Yeah, I've stated my situation why I can't move on them. But my thought was SMU or nothing, and just because of the situation, I'm not moving on. And shout out to Jeff Slaughter. $50 richer. And if we get to 150 likes, another $50 will go out. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, UAB Blazers. Head over to Conference USA, 12-2 on the season, 3-0 in conference, going up against Florida Atlantic Owls, 2-0 in conference, 12-1. They've won 11 straight. They just won 50-46 at North Texas as 2.5-point dogs. Blazers coming off their fifth straight win, 90-67 at home over UTSA on Saturday as 23-point favorites. Let's take a look at the line history here for this Conference USA showdown. Two strong teams in conference that we haven't been able to talk enough. We haven't had enough Owls games here for us. Florida Atlantic opening up at -4, down to 2.5, got down to 2, got down to 1. This got down to 1 this morning at 10:30. Wow. So opened at 4, got down to 1, now at 2.5. That's wild. Let's see what Bet Online did with it. They opened it up at 3 and got down to 2. So they haven't had much variance, but Pinnacle has. That's wild. Okay, so from a totals perspective, at Pinnacle opened up at 149.5, now down to 146.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. UAB, where the hell is it? Take me a second to find it. If it takes too long. Oh, here we go. So Sports Insights has given UAB some real legit line value. The only team with more line value on the entire card than UAB, according to Sports Insights, is a game we're not talking about. It's App State at home against Coastal Carolina. So 2,991 tickets in, 51% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on UAB. Wow. 67 and 66 on the under, and we've seen that drop. Wow. That's wild. Take it away for us, Dabby Cab. Conference USA action, UAB, Florida Atlantic.
Fuck. Now, this kind of making me want to take UAB maybe in the first half here. Putting up 86.6 points per game, that's good for 6th in the nation. We can't go through talking about this game without talking about Jordan Walker. He's averaging 25.2 points per game, which is first. They're only allowing 69.2 and holding opponents to 40.2% shooting. But FAU has been great too. On defense, only allowing 61.2 points per game. That's 29th in the country. They're putting up 78.5 points per game. That's 56. Martin is their leading scorer with 13.5 points per game. This is going to be a great game. I saw our guy Mally asked if FAU is good. Yeah, they're a good team. This is matching up to be a great game. I don't know if FAU is the right team to be favored here. I think the spread should maybe be flipped, -2 UAB.
Well, let's look at a couple things here for me before I can make the move on UAB. First off, let's take a look at UAB's true road games, and then let's take a quick look at how many people we can expect in Boca Raton. I know Boston Nick's not going to be there. Let's see how many people we can expect in the arena and how, because this is a big game in Conference USA, but will it be a tough arena to play in is the question. So here, let me just move over here quickly. Take a second. Here we go. So first off, true road games for UAB. Here we go. We'll start there. And we have at West Virginia. That's a tough place to play. They lost 81-70. That's their only true road game of the year. That was a pretty nice performance. So there was 12,000 people in Morgantown. It was almost full, and they were 6-point dogs, and they lost by 11. So There's the one answer that. So they've had one road game. Now we talked about yesterday with Duke. Duke had looked
Terrible.
but they'd look bad on their one road game. So we were wondering, here's their second opportunity on as a true road game. Can they look better? And they couldn't.
You know, I just saw enough to keep me off of UAB there with Matty Ice and Mike M. Both are on the other side. Matty Ice said he's got FAU first half and full game both on his card. Mike M. said he also has it.
Wow.
That those two guys right there are enough to keep me off.
Oh yeah, oh shit, that's wrong. I hear you. I just want to see how many. That'll keep. I guess that'll keep me off too. That's part of the fun about us all capping together. Is you see somebody on the spot and it keeps you off. But so there's
Top set. Did he say it too?
2,900. There's Elio now. It's what up Elio. 2,900 capacity. 2,900 in FAU Arena. They were 50% full against Northern Kentucky. 50% full, so it's not going to be a sleepy. It's going to be a sleepy spot, It's not like it's like going into West Virginia. Let me just see what they were for. Oh no, that was at FIU. All right, so. Oh no, yeah, at home against FIU. Let's just see. Did that fill up? Did anyone care in Boca for that shit? No, 1,797. Mike M says 2,900, but it sounds like 3,000. Okay, let's move past that. I was hoping to be able to make a move here, but I also don't want to go up against those guys. All right, let's move. And those aren't true road games, right, Mike? They've only had those are you're counting some of the neutral games. They've only had one true road game. All right, let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Southern Miss Golden Eagles. A little Sun Belt action. Southern Miss 13-0 or 13-2, 2-0 in conference at the Ragin' Cajuns at the Cajun Dome. And the Louisiana coming off their third straight loss, 70-66 at Old Dominion on Saturday night as 1-point dogs. Southern Miss comes in off its second straight win, 76-70 at home over App State on Saturday, 6.5-point favorite. So they didn't cover. Let's take a look here at the line history. Again, if we get to 150 likes, Slaughter will give out another $50. $50 will go to one of our cappers. Let's take a look here at the line history for Southern Miss. God. This is the what pains me more than anything else is when I'm fucking searching for a fucking game. Here we go. There's UAB Florida Atlantic. Oh God, I'm gonna smash my computer. Here we go. Southern Miss. Here we go. I got it. Sorry about that. Opened up Southern Miss -3. They're now -2.5. They got to -2 though. Sorry, that's the Ragin' Cajuns. Excuse me. Ragin' Cajuns opening up -3. They got down to -2. They're sitting at -2.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 147 and it's down to 145. When we look at the cash flow here, oh God. Here we go. Just 709 tickets, so very little help. 29% of the tickets and 48% of the cash is on the over. 54% of the tickets are on Southern Miss, but no cash flow. Take it away for us here, little Sun Belt, Fun Belt action. Southern Miss, Louisiana.
Southern Miss is another one. Shout out to our guy Mally. Seems like we think a lot alike there on this. Southern Miss is another one that I've been close to pulling the trigger on. They've been great this year. They're ranked in the top 100 in efficient field goal percentage, shooting 54.4% from the field. Now they're only shooting 32.6 from beyond the arc. But I think here in this game, the Golden Eagles, they're going to have not only the height advantage, they're going to have the experience advantage. Austin Crowley, the junior guard, he's been great for them, averaging 17.1 points per game. They have two senior forwards that are both averaging double digits. On the other side, the Ragin' Cajuns, they're shooting 50.9% from the field, 35.7% beyond the arc. They do a good job of limiting turnovers and crashing the boards. But like I said, they're going to have a disadvantage on size here. Jordan Brown, their junior forwards, leading them with 19.8 points per game. He's possibly a conference player of the year there for ULL. But then on some numbers here, Golden Eagles, they've gone 13-4 ATS their last 17, road or home, doesn't matter. 13-4 last 17. Ragin' Cajuns, they're only 1-6 their last 7. This is Southern Miss or nothing for me here.
And what's keeping you from pulling the trigger?
I think I'm probably going to be on Southern Miss here.
Okay. Well,
I just haven't. I haven't officially betted it for the show. We can go ahead and make it official. I just haven't actually bet it myself, and I usually don't like making things official until I have my money on it.
Yeah, but you can talk yourself into a bet that you're going to make.
Exactly. That's what I figured I'd do here because I have 2 made, and I figured I figured I'd find a couple because there's always a couple that I feel like I want to make. So yeah.
All right, Southern. So Cabby's in Southern Miss +3 -108 +3 -108. Mike M's on Southern Miss first half and full game. Ryan Mueller on Southern Miss money line, and same with Robert Franklin. They're both on Southern Miss money line. I am off of it. And Leonard Porsche Jr. Lives in Lafayette, and he says, all I can say is don't give the Cajuns any credit for being at home. Awful.
Good, Leonard. That's what I like to hear. I love that inside information like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it, just getting an idea of how awful it's been. Here, let me just give me a second here.
I'm the same way, Troy. That's one of the main things that keeps me off of it. This will be like maybe the second time all year that I've done it.
Let's just take a look here for Southern Miss and see what how bad has it been. I'd like to know here. God, too many games. Okay, just 1 second here. It's going to get to 8 o'clock here for Southern Miss, and then we will move on. Here we go. Fuck, God, just too many things open. Not sleeping, not paying due attention. Okay, here we go. Louisiana Raging Cajuns home numbers. Let's get over here. And don't forget, Cappers contest in an hour and 3 minutes. The Cappers contest in an hour and 3 minutes. So they've been on the road. That's what makes me hesitant to fade them. 4 straight on the road and lost those tight games to Coastal Carolina and Old Dominion. Their last home game was versus Samford. Let's get an idea how many people were at this one here. At the Cajun Dome, wow. 2,643. 23% full. That's 11,500. That's right. Okay, let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern, and Cabby has moved on Southern Miss. 9 p.m. Eastern, the number 15th ranked Indiana Hoosiers, 10-3, 1-1 in conference at Iowa Hawkeyes, 8-6, 0-3 in conference. Iowa. Indiana comes in off its second straight win, 69-55 at home over Kennesaw State, a 17.5-point favorites. That was back on December 23rd. This team has not played since December 23rd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts. Iowa comes in off its third straight loss, 83-79 at Penn State on Sunday. This is an angry Iowa group going up against a team that hasn't played in 2 weeks. And this is nuts to me. Now, in saying that, the Iowa has gone from favorite to dog. They've gone from a -118 spot to -107. They were -129. There's been a 22-cent move.
You can't get plus points on Indiana anymore?
No. There's been a 22-cent move to Indiana in the last 56 minutes. Crazy. From a total perspective, opened up at 152.5, now 151.5. In Smith Legacy saying Iowa lost a big player.
Yeah, I'll go over that because I've got a problem with it too.
So there you go. And then cash-wise here for this one, get this up here, 9 o'clock action. Oh, man, I just hate this constant search. It's going to take me a second to bring up the cash, obviously. So why don't we have you break down your thoughts here on this one? Oh, here we go. So they've given Indiana some line value, 3,599 tickets in. Listen to this, 69% of tickets and 93% of the cash on Indiana.
Wow.
December 23rd. Take it away for us, Cabby. Hoosiers, Hawkeyes.
Okay, so Ryan Mueller just touched on it. Indiana lost Xavier Johnson. He has to get the foot surgery. But Trace Jackson Davis is coming back. That's got to be. I mean, I already knew he was coming back this game, so maybe people are just figuring it out or something. I don't know. But it was pretty easy to figure out that he was going to play this game if you read the rhetoric. But maybe that's what's flipping it. Indiana right now, or all the money also. Indiana is averaging 80.1 points per game. That's 37th in the nation. They're allowing 65.3, which is good for 94th in the nation. Their best player is coming back, Jackson Davis. He's putting up 16.4 points per game, pulling down 8.2 boards. He's shooting – oh, wait, excuse me, not him. They are shooting 50.7 from the field, which is good for 6th in the country. Iowa on the other side, this isn't just one bad performance from Iowa. It's been multiple bad performances from Iowa. Iowa's looked bad. Now, granted, they had Murray hurt. Now he's back. They also had McCaffrey hurt or whatever, something with his elbow or his wrist. But now what I'm reading is that this motherfucker is sitting out because he has anxiety.
Yeah, he left.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to – we all have anxiety. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to get into any of the political shit of this. But as an athlete, what the fuck is that, man? Like, bro, your dad's the coach. Like, what's so anxious about your life? Your dad's a Division I fucking basketball coach who got you on his team. Like, that locker room's got to be toxic. You can't lose one of your top players to anxiety because it's more than anxiety. It's got to be. It's not just because he's anxious, I promise. It's got to be more something within that locker room or something that's going on. Iowa's been fading. This team has just been fading. And with Trace Jackson Davis coming back, I feel like Indiana might be pouring salt in the wound here. I like Indiana. I no longer think I want to bet it. I don't like being with 93% of the cash. Like you said, I just don't like doing that.
And Pinnacle's the only one that's moved it to a favorite.
Rim, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say I know the ins and outs of it. Okay, so but like, dude, as an athlete, like, bro, like I don't understand. Like, anxiety, like about what, bro? Like, you get nervous when you shoot the ball. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I had anxiety every time I pitched.
Yeah, there's a ton of moving parts in this basketball game. Sometimes you get the guy out of the locker room and it helps. Sometimes it's the opposite. Yes, Mally Mal, Pinnacle is known as the sharpest. But do you really want to back a team that hasn't played since December 23rd? There's a ton of moving parts here. Yeah, I don't want to be involved, but Indiana's still plus 1.5 at some books. It's all moving towards what Pinnacle is doing. So I'm sure Indiana will be favorites across the board. Do you want to stay off this spot or do you want to move on it?
I think I'm just going to stay off for right now. I'll tag you and I'll post it because I post everything, and I might be on Indiana here. I mean, in the first half, if I'm not getting any, I like the fact that I would be able to get a half a point, but I guess I probably can't do that anymore. So
yeah, you can still get 1.5 points.
In the first half, you can get a half a point.
Shit. Sorry, I was in my head there. Let's move over and see what you can get first half here. Full game, first half. We have, where the hell is it here? This game pops off at 9 p.m. Okay, here we go. We have, if you want them first half, yeah, you can get plus a half. That's it, plus a half.
Okay, so another thing about that first half is how long they haven't played. But I want to touch on that. A lot of times that can be a bad thing. This was an Indiana team who needed the time off. This might have been the best this could have been the best possible time for them to get an extended break from the court with the injuries that were mounting. So I'm gonna stay off right now, Jimmy. I don't want to force anything. This is I want to make sure that that we do this right. I'm not just gonna force something just because of it. So
yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. And there's lots of spots on the board here. Let's move on to our next spot on the board. North Texas Mean Green. We head back to Conference USA. 11-3, 2-1 in conference. At Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, 8-5, 0-2 in conference. Head to Bowling Green for this one. North Texas opening up -3.5. That's where they stand right now. No movement. It did go down to 3 for a bit. This total very low, 121.5 here. Cash wise, there's not a lot of help here to guide us. They've given some slight line value to North Texas. 75% of the tickets are on North Texas. Total wise, they've given us help here. 67% of tickets are on the under, but just 18% of cash. So there are cappers out there who are making bigger bets that this will go over the total. If North Texas lost to FAU 50-46, but they put up points at UTSA. They put up 78, and they put up 72 in their last game on New Year's Eve at home versus FIU. Now they're back out on the road. Western Kentucky's lost 4 straight games. They've looked bad in conference. They lost barely by 3 points to Rice. They lost barely by 5 points to Middle Tennessee. their other losses were against Louisville. Remember, they were the team that gave Louisville the first win of the year back on the 14th of December. Both teams haven't played since New Year's Eve. Take it away for us here at Dabby Cab, Mean Green versus the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, this Mean Green team, they continue to climb this Conference USA rankings. That was a big win last game for them. It's this team they've got positives. Okay, it's 72nd in 3-point defense. They're closing out well. The offense has been not the best. 341st in the country. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets in scoring offense. So that's one thing that would keep me the hell away from anything to do with North Texas. They're just 232nd in 3-point shooting right now. They have the 72nd best rebounding team, but when you're missing every fucking shot you take, there's a lot more rebound opportunities. So that's something you got to take into account. This game's gross for me. I don't know. Hilltoppers, they need to find their way on offense. They have a very good defensive team. They're ranked, and Western Kentucky is 167th in scoring offense right now. They shoot the ball from deep. All right. They're above average there. I would only probably take Western Kentucky and the points here, but I'm not. This isn't a game I'm betting on.
I feel like it's a good spot for Western Kentucky to bounce back after 2 tough road games, win their first in-conference game of the year. But I'm hesitant to back them as well. So I guess. I mean,
if they can, North Texas can't score. Like there's 341st is what? There's 364 teams. That's about as bad as it gets.
I guess I stay off here, but I was thinking that I could have been talked into a North Texas spot. Let's move over to Pac-12 action. Oregon Ducks 8-6, 2-1 in conference at the Colorado Buffaloes 9-6, but 1-3 in conference. We head to Boulder for this one. Oregon bounced back from their loss to Utah Valley, 77-72, their surprise loss at home, by beating Oregon State 77-68. Colorado was looking strong here, but 4 straight wins came to an end when they lost 80-76 at Cal. And that was just, when was that? That was just, that was on Saturday night. 10.5-point favorites, and they lose at Cal. Nobody going to Cal games right now. There's 1,200 people there.
They're one of the worst teams in basketball.
And they lose. Yeah, that's a wildly poor.
And it makes sense. I hate Colorado and I hate Oregon, but I'll go over that.
Well, let's take a look quickly at the line history here. Can Colorado bounce back here? They opened up at -3. They're now -2. This total opened up at 145.5. It's dropped to 143.5. And when we go over to the cash flow here for this one, that's Northern Colorado. Fuck is God. It's gonna take me a second. God, it's just. Here we go. 1,165 tickets in. 54% of the tickets. 82% of the cash on Colorado. Market slightly moving away from them. 97% of tickets on the over. It's going to the under. I guess people believe this is a bounce back spot for Colorado. Take it away for us here, Dabby. Oregon, Colorado. You're muted, my guy.
Fuck. Damn it. I was due for that. There's only 2 teams that you're going to hear me just start a breakdown with this. And it's funny because we got them both in the same one. I hate Colorado and I hate Oregon. I swear when I bet these teams over the last 3 years, no matter if I go against them or with them, no matter what my angle is, fuck these 2 basketball teams. I will still break it down for all our wonderful cappers in the chat, but I hate these 2 teams. Just had to get that out. Okay. Oregon is 172nd in scoring offense. They're doing the majority of their work inside. They've got a good few players down low. Oregon right now is ranked 65th in scoring defense. So that translates on the defensive end. 146 in 3-point defense as well, which is, a little slightly above average. But like I said, their strength is in the interior. They're 57th in the country in rebounding. Oregon does get sloppy with the basketball at times. And like you just said, this could be a bounce back look for Colorado. their streak was, halted on Sunday with that loss, but it was a loss to, it's not just a loss, it's a loss to fucking Cal. Like, I don't know how you look over that. And not only that, they fell behind 12 points at halftime to Cal. I don't see how you can not just be losing, but getting your ass beat by California. It just doesn't make sense. So Colorado right here, they're ranked 55th in the country in scoring offense. So they do put up points. However, they're just 226 in 3-point shooting. So they can't shoot outside, which means they're going to have to bring it inside, which I just talked about, that I feel like Oregon has the interior advantage here in this game. So that's one of the things, one of the reasons why I think maybe to keep off of Colorado here. Again, I'm not betting either of these teams, but Oregon has gone 6 and after struggling in the month of November, they've gone 6-2. So Oregon, it might be turning that corner here, and taking somebody after losing to Cal isn't something. I get backing somebody after a loss, but that's different than just a loss for me. I'd only be on Oregon here.
And it looks like there's sharp or bigger bets, I should say, on Colorado, but the market's moving towards Oregon. So enough mixed messages there. Let's move on to the big one in the Pac-12, USC Trojans, 11-4, 3-1 in conference at the number 10th ranked UCLA Bruins, 13-2, 4-0 in conference. There's our guy, Ron Lofton, in the house. What up, Ron? My God. Pauly Pavilion for this one. This is going to be a fun game. We have 2 late night spots for us to bet while we're capping for tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. This game's going to be fun. UCLA opening up at 12.5-point favorites, now down to 11. The total opening up at 140.5, now down to 137.5. Let's take a look at cash flow for this one. USC been giving line value here, 2,737 tickets in, 74% of tickets, 85% of cash on USC. Seen them move 1.5 in their direction. I'd be curious to see what Bet Online opened it, because they would have opened it up much earlier. I guess maybe it looks like just a few hours earlier. They opened up that spread at plus 13.5. So it's moved 2.5 points at Bet Online, and it's moved 1.5 at Pinnacle. So also here, you have 74% of the tickets on USC, so it is in that public dog category. USC had their 7-game winning streak snapped in an ugly 81-71 loss at Washington State on Sunday as 1.5-point favorites. Washington State can be a tough place to play. And we cashed with them on Friday against UCLA in the first half. Now, UCLA has the skill set to overcome a bad first half, and they ended up winning by a point. But it was a nice cash for us on the first half with Washington State. UCLA comes in off their 10th straight win. After struggling against Washington State, they dominated Washington. 74-49 is 11-point favorites. Ron Lofton looking at the under 139.5. DC Capper leaning to UCLA minus 11. Andrew G says, this is the game I want to hear. Says, I've waited for this breakdown for 2 hours. Respect to Andrew G, and much love to you. So this is a fascinating one. Big Pac-12 game. Dabby Cab, take it away. Trojans, Bruins.
If this was under 10, I'd be all over UCLA here. So it's a thin line for the spreads. Like you said, that was a tough loss for USC, their last one. They only shot 43.1% from the field and only 13 of 18 from distance, which is terrible. That's 16.7% from beyond the arc. So just not a good showing for them. They score 72.3 points per game. And that's on 46% shooting. So that's not bad at all. 32.3 from long range. So that could be better. Right now, their offensive adjusted rank is for the schedule. When you take the schedule in, they're 71st right now. Boogie Ellis has been leading them. He's averaging 16.1 points per game. He's shooting 44.3% from the field. But they've got other players too, whether it's Dixon Waters, the freshman guard, Trey White, and the junior forward, Joshua Morgan. They've got multiple players on this team that I think could keep coming to get together. They only surrender 66.7 points per game, and it's holding opponents to 38.2% from the field. That's the 21st lowest opponent shooting percentage in the country. So that's pretty good here. But all that being said, UCLA is another one of the teams that I've been very high on, obviously. They score 79 points per game. They're shooting 48.4% from the field. They're also shooting 37.2% from beyond the arc. Their effective field goal percentage is 53.7%, which is ranked 49th. Its offense adjusted rating is 6th highest in the country in all of D1. This team is very good. UCLA only gives up 61 points per game. Its opponents are shooting 41.3% from the field. They're holding them from beyond the arc only 29.4%, which is outrageous. They close out well. Their adjusted rating on defense is 7th in the country. So just this UCLA team is just good. And USC, I just don't think they're there yet. Bruins are also 4-0 against the spread their last 4 games. I'm not laying 11 or 12 here, but maybe UCLA in the first half. So,
yeah, I situationally, I kind of like USC to.
It's a rivalry.
Oh yeah,
it's just a couple too many points for me. I think UCLA wins by 8 or 9 points, and I don't know if that's a margin that I feel like betting.
I feel like I do move on this USC spot, but DC Capper leaning UCLA, Mike M leaning UCLA. He is on FAU, Houston first half under 61, full game under 131. Sam Houston -3, Georgia State -4, Rice and BYU. Yeah, this total has been hit hard to the under. A great job, Ron Lofton getting 139.5. It's being offered at 137.5 in most spots. Yeah, I think USC can keep this within 11. But it is very public right now. I think I'm going to wait on this. I certainly don't want to sit here. I mean, public dogs aren't as bad when you get away from NFL, but they're still have a stink on them. So, and it's just too much right now. Right now we have 73% and 82% of the cash. At least we have bigger bets on them. I'm going to wait on this, see where the line goes. And Ron Lofton agreeing with this big move to the under. All right, let's move on to the final game. This is a fun one. I love having these late night games at our disposal. We have one here and a good one. 11 p.m. Eastern. Final game here on the show. Don't forget, 43 minutes. We have the Cappers contest show, and there's so many moving parts of the NFL card this week. The number 9th ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs, 12-3, 1-0 in conference at San Francisco Dons, 11-6, but 0-2 in conference. Not looking good. Head to the Sbarado Center in San Francisco for this one. Let's take a look at the line history here for Gonzaga, San Francisco. Here we go. Sorry, it's going to get down to the bottom of this bullshit. God, what the hell? This 2 million. Here we go. All right.
A reminder to hit the like button because there's only one more game left, and we've got a list of people here, all members, all people that are in the running for just $50 prize for 2 people. So you better sign up. Sign up, get that like button, become a member, and maybe you'll be on the wheel.
I love the wheel. Look at the wheel. Wine Time, Nasty Nate, Fanatical Jim. The wheel's fucking dope, man. Great job, Jose. We are 12 likes away from putting that wheel in effect. That's the first time we've used the wheel, Jose. Oh, wow. Look at this guy, man. The fucking Jose on the 1s and 2s, just delivering. San Francisco opening up at +11, now at +10. They got to +10 earlier and went back to 10.5, but they're sitting as double-digit dogs here at home. From a total side of things, opened up at 157. We've dropped a half point to 156.5. Let's take a look here at the cash flow for this one. We have 2,129 tickets in. We only have helpful with the side. 34% of the tickets on San Francisco and 50% of the cash. Would I hate if my night ended with these 2 double-digit dogs at USC at 11 and San Francisco at 10? The answer is no. But right now, it's really easy for me to move on San Francisco, seeing that only 32% of the tickets are on them, and it's 50-50 cash-wise. I kind of like that. I like it's moving in the right direction. Gonzaga comes in after their 7th straight win, 111-88 at home over Pepperdine on Saturday's 22-point favorites. San Francisco comes in off its 2nd straight win, 80-68 at home over San Diego on Saturday night's 10-point favorites. That was a loss. I said win there. I know I'm doing that wrong with my notes. They're coming off their second straight loss, 80-68 at home over San Diego on Saturday night as 10-point favorites. It was ugly. Obviously, they were looking ahead at the big game against Gonzaga. Take it away. Oh, and Billy Friedrich saying Zags 2-6 against the spread away from home. Take it away for us here. Dabby Cab, last game on the board, Bulldogs, Dons.
Yeah, 5-9 against the spread overall, too. So been struggling on that. Bulldogs, they lead the nation in field goal percentage, 52.6%. They shoot 38% from beyond the arc. That's 34th in the nation. 70.7% from the foul line. So they're shooting all right there too. Putting out 16.9 assists per game. That's 23rd in the nation. I mean, what do you want? What does this team not do on offense? They score 117.2 points per 100 possessions. That's good for third in the nation. They're giving up 95.3 points. That's good for 61st in the nation. So they're good on defense. All that being said, I would lean San Francisco here too. That was a shocking loss. You got to imagine that San Francisco was looking forward to this game, because if not, then they don't. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about them. But right now, San Francisco, if you look at the NCAA net rankings or the KenPom rankings, either one, it's about the same. They're 116th in the net rankings, 101 in the KenPom's rankings. They're putting up 104.9 points per 100 possessions. That's a little above average at 107th per nation, 107th in the nation, giving up 98.9 points per game. So that's like 115th. So they're just barely above average on both. I don't know. The problem with me that keeps me off San Francisco right now is how they've struggled to defend over their last two games. They gave up 80 points to San Diego. That's a problem for me. If they're giving up points the way they've been giving up the points the past couple games, that's the only thing that scares me. I lean for San Francisco here. I really like San Francisco. I just haven't bet it. I do have one, so we'll give the wheel a little bit more time after this one. I got one that I want to touch on real quick, if that's okay.
Absolutely, of course. Rob Garvey, will get Jose to put the link in, but it's just on our YouTube page to become a member.
It's in the description of the video.
A month, and it's in the description of the video. Yeah, thank you. And I would prefer to have the Dons early. Locked in a packed War Memorial. That's what I would prefer, because you can be in the game the whole game, and then it can get away from you late. And then the foul shooting. We know the Zags can hit their foul shots. So I'm a little hesitant. We are 7 likes away from the wheel. 7 likes away from the wheel. I'm interested in the Dons first half plus 5.5. Let's go do your addition here, Dabby Cab. What is it?
All right. Okay. Cincinnati, Wichita State here. And I'll be quick on this one. This is just one that I couldn't stay away from. I took Cincinnati here in the first half. I haven't looked at the line. I don't know if it's moved. Do you have the line on this one or no?
Yeah, of course. I will bring it up. Why don't you talk about it for a second while I find it?
Okay, perfect. This is going to be one of those classic matchups. Two teams with high-powered offenses. They've got good defenses. Or a high-powered offense versus a high-powered defense. Cincinnati's got the offense. Wichita State has the defense. A lot of times in that situation, I'm going with the defense, but this is not that case. I think Cincinnati's offense is just going to be a little bit too much here in this game for Wichita State, who's really struggled putting up points this year. Also, they're rolling along right now. 4 straight wins. They also opened the AAC play. The only thing they forgot to do is to shoot well against Temple. They lost that game, so I also like I like this as a motivational factor for them that they dropped that game here, and that was just on Sunday. So they really struggled shooting in that game, but they're still ranked 40th in the country in scoring offense. And I really like getting behind a team that shoots the ball well after a game where they don't shoot the ball well. And that's what Cincinnati does. So, and they're above average in 3-point shooting also, ranked 19th in the nation in turnovers. So they do that well. Cincinnati feels like I'm getting a low number here with them. So I took Cincinnati first half.
A full game right now, there's been a 9-cent move to Wichita at the 2.5. Total wise, there's been a 2-cent move to the under, so very little there. The only thing that we have it doesn't really help as the market either. 51% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on Wichita State. And we know that 67% of tickets are on the over, but we don't know anything else. So let's grab this right now for you. Cincy first half. If you think their shooting is going to improve, why don't you like them full game? Or what do you think they're going to just come out strong early?
I think we'll see an early adjustment from it, and I think they come out aggressive from that. I mean, it was brutal on Sunday, and this is a good shooting team. So,
all right, well, let's line shop for you, Cincinnati, Wichita State. You are getting a -0.5 first half, -0.5, -109.
Perfect.
All right, Dabby Cab, Cincinnati first half, -0.5. -109. All right, let's review all action. We are currently at 145 likes. Very close. Very close. Let's review all NCAA basketball action.
I just want to leave this up here so people know what they're playing for now.
Yeah, man. I like it. Maryland first half +3 at -110 for me. Taint under 130.5 for Matty Ice in Maryland Rutgers. And then DC Capper moved on Ohio State, Purdue under 141. It's dropped, and we stayed off Purdue, Ohio State, although I had interest in Purdue. SMU, Houston, we stayed off, as we did with UAB, Florida Atlantic. Cab, you're on Southern Miss +3. We stayed off Indiana, Iowa, North Texas, Western Kentucky, although, god damn, did I come close to Western Kentucky. Oregon, Colorado, we stayed off. I want USC, but I'm going to wait. I'm not really comfortable with how much money's on them at this point. And then we have the Dons first half +5.5. I will be moving on the San Francisco Dons first half. And Dabby's moving on Cincinnati first half -0.5. Jose, do we get the first? Well, we're 4 likes away. Actually, we just lost a like. I don't know how that happened. One like
Somebody hit it twice.
We're back. It's back. Jose, do we have the first say, hey, play of the day of 2023?
Nope.
No, not yet. Okay.
Do you have my steak?
Nope.
Okay. So
Yeah, he would leave on that, wouldn't he?
He bounced. He doesn't like when it comes to beef talk. When it comes to beef, I don't know. For those of you who are new to the show, our man Jose, whom you know well, bodybuilder, proud Venezuelan. He is
Proud is putting it a little aggressive.
He is in a tough spot right now where he does owe steaks to many of us. I owe him a steak, though. I'm the only one who I think is in arrears. I'm surprised Dearth threw people for a rock. The Dearth didn't come across to me as this incredible piece of vocab that I was dropping. Okay, we did drop a like. We got a like coming and going here. I'm not sure if we're gonna get that like. We were 5 away. We're so close. Rutgers moved to 5.5 on Penny as well. Rutgers moved to 5.5 on Penny. We'll give us this much more time to get to the likes.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
He did hook me up with my steak. Fogo
You paid?
Yeah, he paid up. Fogo de Chao. He actually owed me 2 steaks, so we brought a homeless dude in to eat with us.
Mm-hmm.
Did you record it? Is that real?
That's really happened. Yeah, Fogo.
No, why would we record our things? I don't want the pat on my back for the charity I do. I just want to give people the
You need proof out there, like those shitty books that try and have people post tickets to prove they pay. You need proof of paying your stakes, because at this point you might have some people looking for you.
It's all right. I'm an easy man to find, unfortunately. So
wow, that was shit. I think Cabby's coming for Jose, man. Only 4-hour drive away.
No, I'm not scared of Gokster. Gokster's a skinny Canadian that does nothing. Cab is like 6'7", so that's intimidating.
150 likes and Jose will shave his head. Is that fact?
What?
No. I've already given up my hair for Pub Sports Radio once.
You can shave your head, and you don't owe me in a steak. I might even get a couple other people.
I will look like I just came out of Auschwitz if I did, and that will not be good.
How did you put the wheel together and not have the nuke worker on there?
New worker not on there? There we go. I'll just put nuke on there right now. Nuke.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. See, no. By the way,
oh, we did it. We have hit 150 likes. This is exciting. Is Lucas Ryan on there? Let me see.
There he is. He's the blue one at the bottom.
Oh yeah, you're the blue one right there, Lucas Ryan.
There you go. I'm mixing it up. Shuffle. Let's give it a good shuffle too.
Give it a good shuffle and a hard spin. Get your sack into it.
All right, everyone. Good luck. I hope someone wins that actually deserves it. The wheel has spoken.
And it is.
JP nice. One top set. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Awesome. All right.
JP, the star of our intro. Oh, that's great. That's
you didn't tell everyone that you were going to torture somebody else with the way that was like top set was like, come on.
It's gambling, baby. This is roulette. We're rocking and rolling. Now, that was one. Congratulations, JP. DM the Pub Sports Radio Twitter with your Cash App to claim. But there are two winners. JP, you're off the wheel.
Is Tori Coker on the wheel? We got Coker on the wheel, right?
I think so. Let me see. Yes, Tori's
if you're
right
not on the wheel,
right
just
there.
say something.
I see him. You're right there. JP picking up 50 quick.
All right, JP out of
Andre,
way.
why do you guys not think dearth is a word? What the it's not a difficult word.
What the hell does dearth mean? That sounds like a name that you call like a nerdy kid.
I was saying a dearth of scoring or something like that.
A lot of scoring, right?
No, you guys, it's a scarcity or lack of something.
Lack of scoring. There you go.
You and picks from Dave would sure get along with your dearth and annals of time, all these words that you guys like to talk about.
Mike M is asking a good question. Are you saying girth? A girth of scoring?
No, fuck off.
By the way, good question for our guy, Ryan Mueller. How do we get on the wheel? First of all, we got to 150 likes, so shout out to you guys. But you are a member of the Pub Sports Radio channel. You hit that little, I believe it's a cash sign. Or no, it's actually just join button. You hit join, and it'll take you to the whole thing, and you'll become a member. So watch our shows, become a member, and you'll become a part of these kind of giveaways as well. But enough of that. We have a second giveaway.
Oh, let's go. Go.
The second one is on. We're spinning. This wheel has spoken yet again. Oh, Rocco.
Real deal. Yeah.
That hurts, Rocco.
I thought he won the edibles in the giveaway in the sesh. I thought he
was
was
so
going to win again.
close to Rocco. Why are you calling him Rocco?
Rocco. I don't know. It's Rocco Rogers.
How many Roccos have you met in life?
Rocco Baldelli. Everyone knows him. Real deal prime. Congratulations. By the way, thank you to JP. We knew he was there. But if Real Deal Prime is not here and says something,
well, he's here.
I will give away your prize. I'm not afraid to do that.
You just want to spin the wheel again. Chill out.
I do like spinning the wheel. So shout out to Rocco and shout out to Real Deal. Rocco Baldelli, as I'll always call him now. But yes, that was a dearth of excitement. Did I use it right? No, that's the opposite.
He's been calling you Rocco since MLB?
See, I corrected it. I was calling him Rocco at one point. He said Rocco. I was like,
of course it's Rocco.
Rocco, like Rocco's Modern Life.
English is my second language. Sorry, again, Rocco Baldelli. Everyone knows of him. Everyone's heard of his name.
Stop repeating Rocco Baldelli.
Everyone knows about him. Come on.
There's not been one Rocco in the history of English.
What about Robert Covington?
Zero Roccos, man.
That's Rocco. By the way, I still have not seen any sign of Real Deal Prime.
Well, he's literally in the chat right now. Or you just hate him?
Yeah, he's right there.
Where? I don't see him. I want to give him the money, but I haven't seen him. Okay, thank God.
There he is right there.
Shout out to Rocco.
Jesus Christ. Okay. There we. He's happy we're having the conversation. God, Rocco, I had no idea that people could think that. Just a fucking dearth of vocabulary skills from these ass clowns.
English is my second language, guys. Sorry, it's one of those things, you know.
If I had a fucking car, I'd go get some cachapas right now, man. That's what I need. Big steak and avocado and.
Yeah, Cab doesn't know what that's like, Jimmy. He's not cultured like us.
Doesn't know what what's like.
Venezuelan food.
Jose, you don't even eat.
That's true.
Look at those jowls. How's he get those? How's he get? Does he have nuts in his mouth?
I honestly, I think so, because like while he was here with me for the weekend, he had like 2 chicken fingers. Literally, like 2 chicken fingers the whole time.
Yeah, that's Jeff too. Jeff fucking hates it in Vegas as well. You know, it's an issue, guys. Sorry. I'm look at my arms. They're frail and skinny. I'm getting roasted right now on pub culture because I said a female should have a sandwich in a video. I just getting eviscerated by the chat. And look at me. I fucking need a sandwich.
Those bulbous jowls, beautifully put. See, Lucas he's got a good grasp of vocabulary. Bulbous. We use it when we refer to shrimp or Jose's jowls.
That's great.
These are all good. All of these things are good. Billy Friedrich saying as well. Jose's mumbling is Jose's first language, and gibberish is my second language there.
Jesus.
It all makes sense.
Well, we have our Cappers Contest show popping off in 24 minutes. Big thank you to Jeff Slaughter. Congratulations to Real Deal Prime and Jay Peasy for Sheezy.
DM the Pub Sports Radio Twitter to claim your prizes.
Ron Lofton says Jose needs more herb. I don't think that's the problem.
That is not the problem there. Ron, not the problem. It might be the exact opposite. Who knows?
He does not need more ganja. Okay, let's move on to a review of all action. Dabby, you cool to stay with us? Will we just do a quick review and bounce out of here?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, let's review all action here. In Fap win, by the way, gave us a 2-game parlay. He's on Utah Tech first half plus 3.5, and the Leafs raced to 2 goals, and that is a plus 200 parlay. Dan Kelly gave us Tom Hogue. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Top 10 at plus 450 in this week's golf tourney. I'm going to add the Hurricanes -1, although I'm not. I don't love the juice, but I just think it's a winning bet here after their loss and with Pacioretty coming back. Gokster's on the Capitals in regulation at -125. I'm adding the under 6.5 in Washington, Columbus. Then I'm already on the over 6 at -115 in Rangers, Montreal. Then Halak is announced in, which is great news. That is now -120. It's only a 5-cent move with the announcement of Yaroslav Halak. Then we stayed off Blues, Devils. Ghoster's on the over 6 in Arizona, Philadelphia. He's on the Coyotes first period at plus 110. He's on Seattle, Toronto first period. Both teams to score at plus 160. Ghoster's on the Oilers in regulation at plus 100. If there was any other team in the NHL playing the Flyers, I'd be betting them. But I can't. I just can't bet the Yotes. I love fading the Flyers after winning 3 straight on the road and coming home. Ghoster's parlay is Rangers, Avalanche at plus 144. I'm on the under 6 already at -105 in Pittsburgh, Vegas. Okay, let me see some juice on that. That would make me feel a little better. No, it's still at -105. I am adding Boston, LA under 6 at -115. I'm already on my 3 bets are locked in NBA. Magic plus 7 at -110. Under 231.5 at -110 in Boston, Dallas. I can't believe that's just still going up. And it's up a half point from when I bet it. Magic's at plus 6.5 though now. Let's move the half point in my direction. I like seeing that. And the Nuggets are now -6. I got it at -5. Hopefully that's the incoming announcement that George or Kawhi will not be in the lineup. Mally Mal was looking at the under 6.5 in the Flyers game. I don't dislike it, but the real problem there, Mally Mal, is that Carter has not played since December 23rd. He's come back from injury, and that's always a Carter Hart. It's always a tricky thing with goaltenders. The analogy or the comparison was brought with Ottinger. When he came back from injury, the market moved heavily in his direction, and he was not very good. Matt Murray's in net for the Leafs. I think they're more favorable in that case. And the Halakness monster, as we called him for briefs in St. Louis. I love that, Lucas Ryan.
By the way, Halak, my third favorite Bruins goalie fourth favorite Bruins goalie of all time. Shout out to Yaroslav. Jimmy, a little Cappers contest breaking news here. You might have to enlighten me here. Sure. First of all, no line for the Bengals game. So they have not released a line yet. That's very interesting. And second of all, Broncos -3. They put out on their graphic, they have Broncos -3. And I was like, is that them messing up, or is that flipped all the way? I think that's their mistake, but they have put it out on the graphic.
No, the Broncos are now 1.5-point favorites. I mean, I guess they're expecting the Ravens to lose, which is a fair expectation because they're 7-point dogs. If the Ravens lose, then I don't know why the Chargers would play Herbert. Maybe give him a series or two.
So very interesting things happening with the Cappers contest lines. And Billy Friedrich, the lines will be up soon. Our guy is working on them right now.
Okay.
But yes, I just wanted to alert everyone of that. And Cappers contest show starting in 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got Cincy. I got Cincy at 7-point favorites as well here. Okay. And then why am I on Nuggets full game? I just don't want to get cute here. Denver's coming off of a loss. I don't need to look at what parts of the game they excel in. I want all 48 minutes of the basketball game for them to cover. And when you're dealing with 5 or less, I mean, you can get the lead with 45 seconds left and cover the 5. So I want all game long for them, especially, if Kawhi plays after being sick and you play him in elevation, Yes, that was. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Leonard, but that's what he gave out. Tom Hogue, top 10. But really line shop for that one because he found Tom Hogue at plus 450 at FanDuel, and he said that other books have him at 360. So use FanDuel if you can. Johnny Gunn says Chargers already locked up a playoff spot. They did, but if the Ravens win that game against the Bengals, then the Chargers have to win that 5th seed, which is an extremely important seed. If you don't have that 5th seed, you play the heavyweights, either the Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals. So we'll have lots to talk about on the Cappers contest. Dabby Cab, excellent work here, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to roll with us. Love working with you. Wednesdays, Thursdays, Dabby Cab right here on Pub Sports Radio. Jose, One Whole Bouquet, excellent job with the wheel. I think the wheel is going to be a nice new addition to us here because we can do lots of things. It doesn't even have to be cash involved. We can just, I've got some
spin
ideas.
it just for shits and giggles, Maybe you want to decide aside. Just spin it. Fuck it.
I want a wheel where you win something negative. A wheel of
we kick you out. We kick the person out.
That's okay. Yeah, a retirement wheel, as we'll call it. Shout out to Sabino and Guano,
Yeah, that was great. Sabino, by the way, who put his whole career on the line for a bet last year, he is on the Coyotes. Big.
Well, Sabino, if you're watching, let us know if your career's on the line again, because if it is, I'm automatically putting all of my money on whatever side that is, because shout out to you, Sabino. And by the way, another update.
$2.75.
No, actually, I won a fantasy league, so I've got some cash on me. Got like $300 on me. I'm feeling good. Last week it was $1.15. Just get that correct, Cab. But no, I was saying, I'm gonna say this: Patriots and Bills not on the board. They're not even gonna fuck with it. The circuit contest, so neither are we.
Okay, perfect. That will cut a little bit of time off. Question from King Al about the total in the Memphis-Orlando game. Both teams playing at a quick pace over the last 5 games. So let's just quickly look at what's gone on with it. It's gone from 227. It shot all the way up to 230. It got up to 232. So clearly there was a real belief in the over, but then it got too high. So, and then cash-wise for that spot, we'll just finish this for our guy King Al. Cash-wise for that spot, we have 55% of the tickets on the under and 91% of the cash. So I think it got up to 232, and now it was heavy move on the under. Some big bets came in, and the books panicked and dropped to 2 points. Johnny Gunn saying the under now a public bet. So there you have it. There you have it. Much love from all of us here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you for all that you guys do for us. King Al, Johnny Guns, Jay Peasy, now $50 richer. Mike M, Mally Mal, Lucas Ryan, Real Deal Prime, $50 richer for Real Deal Prime. Dom Play, Matt Cratcha. Oh, Tom Hoagie. Okay, thank you. I'm not a. Oh, thank you, Matt Cratcha. I asked twice because I felt like a lot of ignorance coming out when I was talking about Tom Hoagie. Top 10. Leonard Porsche Jr., Leroy Flood, Billy Friedrich, Jonathan Munoz. All you guys, thank you guys for your support. Gas Report says we going to the Super Bowl, baby. Big Purdy. I don't know. I hope so. Alec, all you guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Don't forget, Taint Play today is the under 130.5 in Maryland Rutgers. Can you, Dabby Cab, my friend, put a bow on this and then leche us into the future?
Oh, I got you, man. I got you. Guys, make sure you're coming to the live shows with us too. My guy Razor, he'll be out here with us Friday. We don't just bet on the sports. He bets on the ponies. I don't cap ponies, but I cashed a pony with him last week, and it was a lot of fun. We like doing it with you guys, man. This is a family. The past year, I know it's a new year, and I don't want to be sappy, but fuck, it's been a lot of fun, man. Getting to know you, Jimmy, getting to know you guys in the chat, and just learning and evolving with everyone. It's all about that fucking money, though, at the end of the day. So let's get out of here and leche los motherfucking bookmakers, boys.